case. I'm echoing because I am wandering around a location that allows me to wander around. So, it is Wednesday night. We are playing Dungeons and Dragons, but once again, as with all the last few Wednesdays, I ain't your DM. Nope, that honor and privilege tonight goes to the amazingly talented, beautiful, like almost the only person that actually comes close to my height in our group. Atlas, aka Cal, aka 6 foot,
Frozen on stream.
6 feet of raw lesbian power.
Oh God, I missed all of that because my audio cut out and just got raw lesbian power. But whatever you said, I assumed that it was right since it ended
And it
with raw
was
lesbian power.
all flattering,
Oh,
with the
thank
exception
you.
of the fact that you're like the only person that comes close to my height.
That's just a random
I'd say
statement of
that's
fact. Yeah.
flattering.
It is a fact, yeah. You lack the shoulder width that I have, though. So there's that.
Someday, Cap, I'm coming for your shoulders, motherfucker.
I can tell you the secret to bulking up.
Yeah?
Don't exercise and eat shit that's bad for you. Done.
All right, well, I'm starting on it, so
Is that
I
a
guess
brownie?
we'll see.
Did you bring enough for the entire class?
Well, if I can, here, I'll just, there.
Are you feeding the camera? Stop
I
it.
mean, it's the only thing I can think of to do, and now my camera's greasy, so that's great.
Well, that's on you. I didn't do that.
Shut up. I was trying to be funny. I crave the approval of others.
Sure thing. I like it. All right. Well, without further ado, real quick, do the recap things that we always do. Thank you to D&D Beyond, who is our sponsor for Monday nights as well as these nights when we run D&D, and just for everything that they do for us, allowing us to use their tools and utilities. Tonight's character that I am going to be playing, Lysander Firewind, was actually made in D&D Beyond and then imported into Roll20. Monday nights, we run Foundations of Adelar, which we play in a homebrewed world in 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. On Tuesday nights, our very own Jason, who will be reprising the role of Quintrell tonight, runs Esper Genesis, I've been calling it a 5e companion. Is that right?
I don't know. For me, companion would imply something else that company was doing to go along with their game.
I got you.
But it's 5e compatible. I mean, you can pull monsters out of the monster manual to use for aliens with absolutely no trouble.
Okay, so a 5e
yeah, it's pretty much 100% compatible.
Does it use the same rule set as 5e?
Pretty much. I mean, the Esper powers pretty much work like spells. Slightly different list. Not every spell has an equivalent power and vice versa, but
sure.
And they input they add things like starship combat and such as that. But all in all, yeah, they were very careful to make everything compatible.
Well, it is. I've looked over it, and I've looked over the company. It's Alligator Alley. Is that right?
Yeah, they're based out of Florida, obviously.
Yes, of course. And by the way, great group of guys. Go support their stuff. Esper Genesis, from what I've seen, what little I've seen, because I'm usually running a game at the same time. It looks like a lot of fun, and a few rules that I've looked over. If you like science fiction and you like the ease of use for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, then from what I understand, this is probably a game for you. It's not as I can die in creation like Traveler. It's not as rules heavy as, or it's not as. Let me rephrase that. Not as defined and detailed as, say, like Starfinder is. But it has a lot of fun to it. So, but that's on Tuesday nights where Jason is running that game. So tune in on Tuesdays and see all the fun that is there. But for now, we're going to be playing some D&D 5e. And oh, by the way, I also forgot to mention, coming soon, the end of this month is, I think, what you estimated.
Yep.
We'll be having on Thursday nights Dungeons and Dragons, more Dungeons and Dragons, with The Curse of Strahd, which is a module that harkens back to a game from the 80s, 90s, actually, Ravenloft, and the setting therein. And it is a fun module. It's probably one of my favorite modules to run. And from the YouTube channel Taking 20, which is really great, the Cody, who runs that, he ranked all of the modules at the time when Dungeons of the Mad Mage came out from lowest to highest in ascending order, and his number one pick for 5th edition was Curse of Strahd, as far as like being well written, being able to integrate, and the mobility and how easy it is to use that module. So there you go. Anyways, I have prattled on long enough. DM, it's your show. I'll shut up now.
Well, I also would like to mention that speaking of Curse of Strahd, the game we will be playing tonight and for a couple more nights.
And we lost her.
Oh.
A fun little like adventure that came after all that. So while there is going to be some familiarity of the characters between each other because we've already been on an adventure, hopefully any viewers that are watching will get to enjoy a entirely new adventure. So without further ado, we do open on a scene of something that all my players have already read. It's a short prologue, but an elven woman goes up the stairs to look for her girlfriend, a woman named Belle, who is a halfling cleric who has a strange and sordid past. She walks up the stairs and calls Belle's name several times. Now, this long ago. When she reaches the bedroom, she finds something horrifying. There's a massive blood stain on the bed. The window is wide open, and laying in the blood is the pendant that her partner had used to commune with her patron goddess, Selûne. And this is the scene that sets what is going on here. Esme is the name of the elven woman. She's been Belle's partner for a number of years now, and the two of them have lived together, and without a trace, Belle suddenly goes missing. So, now that we've got that little prologue for anybody who is tuning in, all right, Jack's here.
Uh-oh.
And right in time too. So, Aethlin and Rollin. The night is cool and peaceful. For the first time in what is probably a long time, there is peace in your home. Everyone is sleeping easily, and the night air is devoid of any danger. In fact, the house is quiet, except the sound of crickets and the occasional howl of a far-off wolf. You are sleeping soundly in bed when suddenly the house is filled with the sound of knocking. Aethlin, you are a thief and a criminal. You know well what a knock can mean. If you
Danger.
That's a fun expression for it to freeze on.
That is a great expression.
Oh,
can't, there
you're
are many
literally
ways to speak.
You
What's
froze
up?
on us. You froze
Oh
on
froze
us.
on
shit!
us.
Of course I did. When did I freeze?
You know what a knock can mean.
Yeah.
You know what a knock can mean. If you were less traveled than you are now, you might think that someone had come to arrest you. But this is a familiar knock. In the ancient language of the thieves' cant, there are many ways to speak. The first is short, curt sentences that convey a message with speed and secrecy. The second is with hand signals, ways to show someone something without saying anything. The third, and perhaps the hardest to master, is nonverbal sound. Clicks, snaps, knocks, scrapes. They are subtle and dangerous, but the most secure way of letting someone know you're there. This knock is clearly thieves' cant. 1, 2, pause just the right amount, and then a quick scrape that leads into the third knock. It's actually surprisingly competent cant, something only seasoned thieves would have under their belt. Rollin, you're also awoken by the knock. You don't know thieves' cant past some very elementary hand signs and a little bit about the spoken tongue, but it still sounds familiar. How a knock can sound familiar, you don't know, but it does. What do you do?
Fireball. No, I'm just kidding. I actually
Starting
did
off
not
strong.
Take that spell. I know everyone is like, what?
Oh.
Aethlin is out of bed, hauling his pants on. He's actually going out the window. Because nobody knocks on the door that late with thieves' cant and isn't somebody that he absolutely needs to talk to, and he isn't doing it in his home.
I froze. Can you
Admit
repeat that?
all of that. Excellent.
This is gonna be the whole night, ladies and gentlemen.
It's okay. You're literally perfect. Never
Did
change.
you catch that he's putting his pants on, grabbing a weapon, and going out the window?
Of course.
Good now.
Of course he is. Fantastic.
This
Oh man.
Why does this surprise you?
Well, I
This-
appreciate that he just doesn't have pants on. Like, he's like, I'm ready for anything. I'm ready if somebody comes into my house. But he doesn't wear pants to bed. Like, I feel like that would be number one, like, worried about home invaders. You know, like, wear some fucking pants. I don't know, maybe
no,
he'll
he's not. He's not worried. Trust me. He's not worried. He's like,
It's
you know
more
what?
the
They get
fact
to
that-
die seeing my dick. That's fine. I just
it's
joined the
That's-
wrong game.
That was a bit bold.
Anyway,
yes.
yeah, he's grabbed his weapon, pants on, out the window.
Fantastic. Roland, what are you doing?
This is literally nothing new to me, so I'm just like,
You're just like, all right,
Carry
I'm
on.
gonna get him.
no,
I'm going back to bed.
You roll back over.
no, we have a small child in our house now. I have to like probably get up and make sure people are still alive.
Yeah, probably. Okay, Aethlin, I want you to roll perception.
Okay,
Why can't I ever find a ponytail holder when I need one?
that is
There it
one
goes.
good way to start that.
Okay, god damn it. Oh, well, you got it anyway. Cool. Okay, yeah, that's easy. Okay, so standing in front of your door to your house is a taller person who is currently wearing a hood, and has like a small backpack. And I'm actually gonna see. Are you trying to be stealthy?
Yep.
Okay, then go ahead and give me.
Climbing.
Yeah, go
down
ahead and
the
give me
lattice
stealth.
work on the side of the house.
Like
Yeah,
a
go
little
ahead and give me
spider.
stealth.
I will. Yes, I will give you a stealth check. Just give me 1 second.
Polymorph him into a spider, then let him crawl down.
Excuse me. Can somebody explain this? I
What,
was
the
looking for a
spider thing?
ponytail. No. Wait, you guys can't see my camera.
No.
Oh my
No,
god.
because you never told me whether you
I said
Jack.
yes.
did. You
Yeah.
okay?
It's your
Well,
fault.
We're good.
now.
It is. It
Okay.
is. But bring it now. So
Um, Hey, let me just say, I was looking for a ponytail holder for like 10 minutes, and I rooted around in my purse and found one, and then I looked down and there's one on my desk, like right in front of me, because
That's how it
Can't
be
just-
sometimes.
I need you to call me so I can find my phone.
I can't find my glasses.
You're holding it up to your ear. I can't find my phone. Call me on it so I can find my phone.
Call me on my cell phone anytime you need my love. Sorry, not sorry, actually,
okay,
at all.
it's okay.
Why aren't you on cam?
Watch. They almost like go to like look next to them, but they seem to think the better of it. So you can officially sneak up on this person, and get a sneak attack in or whatever the hell you want to do.
well, I mean, I'm not just gonna outright attack somebody on my front porch.
I would
why the
never
fuck
do such a
not?
thing.
Wait at least until they're in the building.
Yeah, honestly.
Body's
Do you have
easier
any
to hide
idea
that
how
way.
hard bloodstains are to clean out of the fucking wooden
As
porch?
if you've ever
These are
had to
my
worry about that.
sweatpants.
Mending much? Like, hello.
Okay, look.
Don't you
Look.
fuck me. Look yourself.
He did. He went and killed a basilisk for you.
That's valid. You're valid. Carry on.
So Aethlin's going to take his rapier
Mhm.
and just kind of grab a hold of the back of the collar, pull back, and just rest it against their neck.
Okay.
Not
All right.
doesn't say anything. That's all he does.
Okay.
Doesn't attack. Is waiting for an explanation as to why somebody who knows thieves can't is knocking at his door instead of going through his second in command like they're supposed to.
Okay. Sounds good. As you do this, as you grab the stranger and put the rapier to their neck, you finally get a good.
Oh.
You finally get a good lure.
There they go.
We'll just wait for them to come back, and then we'll find out what I
Right.
actually got a good look at.
Yeah.
You froze us.
This- Oh, of course.
Finally
yeah.
got a good look at.
You get a good look at this person's face. It is an elven woman. She is darker skinned. She has like a bluish green hair that is like tightly curled, and it sort of glints in the moonlight. This person looks very familiar to you. You have seen this person in photos, but you have not ever met her in person.
Was Belle and her together at their wedding?
No, they would not have been.
Okay.
Oh, but that's a good point. She probably would have been at your wedding.
Yeah, because she knows Rollin.
Yep. She was Rollin's student, so you very well may have seen her at your wedding.
Okay, then I'm immediately just gonna pull the weapon away and then step around, and immediately start signing, because that would have been something that I would have been taught so that I could communicate with her.
Perfect. So,
at
what do you
which point
sign?
I then ask, "What are you doing here at
She,
this hour?"
She definitely looks a little bit like stunned, because you basically just held a knife to her throat and then immediately like let her go. She does not know you well enough to even realize that that's like something that is
normal for him. No.
So as you ask this,
Hello?
she said, "Hello?" I
You
cut out,
froze
didn't
again.
I?
Yeah.
Yep, that's just gonna keep happening. It's gonna be a delightful night, everybody. I need to call AT&T by the time we have next session. So yeah, as she would not have spent enough time around you to know that you are the kind of person who would hold a knife to someone's throat right after meeting them, or rape you, or it doesn't matter. So as you ask this, she begins signing back, and she says, "I'm in dire need of help. Something's happened to Belle, and I knew you two were the only people I could talk to. Is Rollin around?"
Aethlin's just gonna nod, open the door, and then gesture for her to enter in front of him.
Okay. She gives you a kind of a nod of solidarity and heads in. As she does, she signs at you. "Oh, very cozy."
Well, I mean, it's a 2-level manor.
Cozy. What a cozy manner you have.
Sarcasm.
And then Aethlin will lead her to the parlor, ring for servants to come in, start a fire. And then
What a
Yes!
cozy
Yeah.
West Wing you guys have.
Literally,
Motherfucker.
like,
did
we're
you
really,
forget
really
that Rollin's
wealthy.
a noble?
Yeah.
Forget.
He's really rich. I'm sorry. He still dresses like a
Super
homeless
rich.
Yeah. At this point, Aethlin dresses better than Rollin does.
Mm-hmm. He's busy. with
Oh man. Oh man. Okay.
Anyway, he'll go up to Jarnik's room, since that's where Rollin should have gone.
Yes,
Okay.
you are
And
correct.
then he will inform him that the person that is here is someone Rollin knows.
He like can't
Okay.
remember her name from the wedding. He's like, fuck.
What's her-
Eleanor.
Well,
There were so
he
many
does.
people there.
It's Yesme.
Okay. What time is it? Real late, right?
Oh, it's middle of the fucking night.
Super
like,
early.
Yeah.
It's like 2 a.m.
Great. That's not good at all.
Which, of course, at that point, Jarnik decides that he's gonna wake up.
Of course.
How old is he at this point?
2 or 3
2
years
baby
old.
years old.
Technically,
He's such a
he's
cute child.
Listen,
Yeah, if
17.
he's because he's what, like
Listen.
2/3
He's-
elf. So
He's
yeah,
17.
He's
They
like,
just keep him in the crib, so he's just laying there with his legs dangling out the end of it. This is a bit
Yeah.
ridiculous. Sorry, I mean,
Oh,
wah,
he's like 2/3
wah.
elf. Like 17 is pretty much 2 years
His
old.
arms
Honestly,
are out
my
the
elf-
side.
Stop! I hate this so much.
That's only
Where's
because you
Brimlow
play
when you need him?
Jarnik every other Saturday.
Honestly. God.
Where's Brimlow when you need him?
Oh,
Honestly,
man.
not here, unfortunately.
Anyway, but yeah, Aethlin will just take charge of his son, and then follow Roland downstairs.
Okay, yeah, I'm hoofing it because obviously that's concerning.
Why is Esme here at 2 a.m.? Usually she visits at 3 a.m.
For our nightly rituals.
Usually we get notified that she's coming.
By like big dramatic glowing horse or something.
Oh, of course. A woman after my own heart.
Okay, so I assume you head down?
Yes, I am heading down and a little concerned, to be honest.
Yeah, I would be too. As soon as she sees you heading down the stairs, she stands up and just runs to hug you, and you can tell that she's distraught. I mean, she's like, as soon as she sees you, she just sort of like crumples and starts crying in your arms. She's very clearly upset.
I'm heartbroken and real. What's wrong? What's happened?
It takes her a second to regain her composure. Once she's able to pull back and do so, she quickly begins to sign at you.
No.
Well, I'm gonna grab a drink while she's frozen.
Yep.
Okay, see you soon.
Death. As soon as she's kind of managed to compose herself.
There we go.
Yeah.
Can we get a recap because you froze?
Yeah. As soon as she manages to compose herself, she pulls back and she kind of shakily signs at you that Belle is missing. I don't know what happened to her. I went upstairs to look for her. There was blood everywhere. You are the only person I could think of to go to, Roland. You have to help me.
What the fuck? Okay. When I'm done having my PTSD meltdown, just goes catatonic for like 10 minutes.
You know, as one does.
How far does Esme and Belle live from?
So it's about, I would say, like a day and a half journey, probably. Definitely far enough that it's not just a jaunt across the woods.
Okay. Well, I mean, it would make sense to go back to the scene of the crime.
Do you say that to her at all?
I'm just gonna ask her if she touched like anything at all before she left.
She
Rip. This is why we can't.
When she did the pendant of Saloon that allows her to channel her powers. I don't know why it was there, but it was lying in a pool of her blood.
You want to try that again? I'm so sorry.
I fucked up.
You froze as soon as you started talking.
Yep.
You're doing great.
I feel like I'm just gonna turn on my little disco light behind me, so if the lights stop going that way, then everybody knows I've frozen. But yeah, so where was I? Did you touch anything before you left? She hesitates for a second, and then she tells you that she did pick up the pendant that Belle left behind when she disappeared. It was her pendant of Saloon, and it was what allowed her to channel her clerical powers.
Okay.
It was lying in a in a pool of her blood.
A pile of blood? How terrible.
Jesus, how much is a pile of blood? Is that like slightly smaller than a barrel?
Okay.
Halfling blood is different. Don't worry about it.
It
like
coagulates
Orbeez.
upon contact with air.
Yeah. It's just little blood Orbeez.
That explains why Belle never really bled.
That's the grossest description ever.
I feel bad now that I said it.
I hate it. Okay.
You think that's bubble tea, huh?
That's halfling blood.
Never speak again. Okay. I'm just going to tell her to wait where she's at while I go run and get all my shit so we can go.
What are you
Also-
going to do? Because I froze
I'm packing
again.
some fucking bags because we got shit to do.
All right. I assume you start that kind of right away.
Yes.
Okay.
Rollin, my dear, my love, the absolute utter love of my life.
You
Do
gonna
what's
hire
right
a
to your
babysitter?
sister.
Okay, well, you handle that and I'll do everything else.
Rollin, I can't read. Remember?
Idiot.
I see a problem.
Okay. You're right. You can.
So let me pack the bags. Go contact your sister
Uh-huh.
so that somebody is watching our kids.
Yes. And I will run away.
I
and do
just want
that.
to say, you live with and are married to a wizard, and wizards are literally the epitome of we know stuff, we write stuff down, we have books of stuff, and you still don't know how to read.
No, Rollin tried to
Can't.
teach him. He's just like, I don't have time.
No.
I'm literally going
Here.
to die before this
Rude.
guy
It
gets
was
it.
it was something we had discussed. Rollin has difficulty reading and usually delegates any reading to somebody else because he suffers from dyslexia.
You mean Aethlin?
Aethlin,
said-
that is
yeah,
what I
you said
meant,
Rollin.
not Rollin. Aethlin, because my character,
Yes.
Never.
my homeboy.
You want to end a relationship quickly and horribly? Just try teaching something complicated to your partner.
Literally, yeah.
Good luck.
Fair enough.
Rollin is
It'll
like,
end
no,
in
it's
frustration.
okay. It's okay. You know what? You don't have. It's fine.
It's fine, I'll do all the
You're
reading.
literally rich. Like, we don't have to do this.
You
Rings
don't
the
have to
bell
read
and the
it,
reading
Molly.
servant comes into the room.
Reading servant.
Come, reading name. Tell me what this post-it says.
Reading boy, come please read this quickly.
It says, please get milk on the way home. Alright.
Okay, if we're done making fun of just how utterly rich Rollin and Aethlin are right now,
Yes. Never.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, so I assume you guys are kind of doing your thing and prepping.
Yes.
Okay. So all of that takes you, I would say it takes you at least until the morning. Rollin, at one point you go downstairs to kind of try and, you're grabbing something or else or whatever. Esme has just totally just conked out on your couch. She's exhausted. It's been a long journey. You can tell based on how long she said it's been that she's been just traveling nonstop. She didn't take
No.
any breaks.
Okay. Carry on. No.
I froze.
Hello?
yeah, but we caught that Esme took no breaks and
Yep.
basically just immediately yeeted
Conked
herself
the
to
fuck
Rollin.
out.
Okay.
All right, so your true journey begins in the morning. So if y'all take a look at the map that is currently on the Roll20, so Belle and Esme live in the town of Markwind, which is down on the coast. And it is, again, about a day and a half journey from where you guys are in Tangled Trees. So obviously Tangled Trees is not on the map. Because like I said, I don't want to fuck with D&D canon, so we're just going to pretend that this is some unknown portion of the Sword Coast that has nothing to do with anything, and nobody can say I'm wrong. Also,
That's
Piss Town
literally-
exists.
Yep.
Woo,
Sure does.
Piss Town! The journey back would kind of, you'd go through the town of Hellhole, or Hellhole, as it is so delightfully called by the locals. And then you would have to go through the large city of Loftwood, the smaller town of Gatling, and then you would be able to make your way down to Markwind. Now, when she wakes, as
There they go.
the crime. I mean, if you're interested, I can recreate the entire thing with illusions.
You want to try that again? When
Yes,
she
ma'am.
wakes.
When she wakes, she conveys to you that, I don't think that we need to go back and see the scene of the crime, because I can recreate the entire thing using illusions. That's how well I remember it. If you need to know any detail about what was there, what was outside, what was inside, I know I can recreate it for you. I think what we need to do first is find help.
Well, if you're sure, then I would say let's do that then.
Well, I suppose it's my turn, isn't it? And then Aethlin is going to a piece of paper in his study, bringing it back out, and then he is going to write on it. And as he writes on it, the words on it disappear, only to be another message to return on it. So it's basically sending stones, but with parchment.
So illusory script,
Basically,
which is a spell. Yeah.
Yes, except it's permanently on the paper. And anyway,
Okay.
but the message he writes to his second in command, Hemlane, is, I need you to find this one specific person. I'm gonna wait till that list unfreezes.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. I love you.
I'm going to, you need to find this one particular person, and we need 2 others with adventuring skill sets. And the name he puts down on the piece of paper is Quintrell.
All right. Fantastic. So, really quick, I'm actually going to jump to our other pals here. So, Quintrell, you actually receive, and actually I was not expecting this, so I'm going to do this a little differently than I was expecting, but it's still going to be good. Quintrell, you receive a summons to the city of Loftwood. You've been kind of making your way.
Making our way where?
I'm back.
Making his way where?
You've been
Downtown,
making your
walking
way. Faces
Waiting
past,
for it.
and he's trying to figure out how to get homebound. So
Because he ain't from round here.
he ain't from around here.
Your world is weird. I
still,
don't like it.
I know that was like a joke we had at the end of Strahd, where it was like, Quintrell isn't even from this plane. Like, what's he gonna do? But now it's a legitimate plot issue. So, yeah, Quintrell, you've been trapped in this realm.
I just like to imagine that Quintrell's constantly walking around asking them why they don't have any trains. Like, do you realize how much faster everything would be if you guys had some trains?
Yeah.
What's a train, good sir? Darn.
And if airships were a little more,
Yeah. Yeah.
every halfling gets told how much faster they could get around if they had a raptor,
Exactly. That day and a half trip turns into a 30-minute drive. Just saying. So Quintrell, you receive a summons to Loftwood. You've been like moving your way around, kind of like helping people out and doing good stuff. Trying to find a way back home, which has involved a lot of research and a lot of planning and a lot of searching. And you found some interesting stuff along the way. There have been things that have made themselves clear to you about this place, including that the way that the planes work here is very different from how they work back home, to a point of almost like people seem to just be at peace with the fact that there's a plane where the gods live, and there's a plane where they live, and there's a plane where certain other things live. Like, it's just how things are around here. And through your searching, you've kind of found that planar thing might actually have a connection to what you're looking at as well, though you have yet to find that connection. So yes, you receive a summons to Loftwood from a mysterious courier who disappears almost as soon as he arrives, and you find yourself unable to even recall many of the facial features or what they were wearing. Gone like a thief in the night. Which
Yeah.
I was trying to find a different phrase because thief in the night feels really just like on the nose, but whatever. So you have received a summons to Loftwood. Quentra! Not Quintrell, Quentra! This is gonna get
Whoops.
excitingly interesting as we try to differentiate the two.
Apologies now. Whoops.
We'll live. Quentra, you are in Loftwood. You are there working as a guide for several people. Obviously, Loftwood is a very large city, and it is also right next to the Beelwick Woods, meaning that you do have a means of egress in certain situations. But so far, you've just kind of been making your way around town, doing what you can, making some money, doing what you do best.
Doing the hustle.
Hell yeah.
You find yourself tonight in a one-room tavern. It's not even really that big of a place. It's frequented around here by people like thieves, criminals, rogues, people like that. But the tavern's general disposition is that you don't fuck with anybody and they won't fuck with you. Meaning that all bets are off, all treaties are created between even the most intense rivalries in the city. So you can easily walk into this place and know that nobody's gonna flip their shit about jack all.
Fantastic.
Beautiful. That's
That
what I
being
need.
said, while nobody will flip their shit about jack all, that's not to say that there won't be a little bit of excitement. Tonight they have a performance by a local bard named Lysander Firewind, who is he's a bit on the haughty side. He's kind of been taking breaks from his performance every so often to declare how famous he is and how everybody should be happy to be in his presence.
I'm offended that you said I was local.
Small town, indie.
So you've been kind of listening to that performance.
The moment I wish I took the spell silence. I'm kidding.
Rip!
Oh.
That's an
Whoops.
F
That
from
all
you,
of the
John.
Monday characters die. Oh, okay.
No!
Again.
No, we've already gone through that.
Again.
Whoops.
Steve, what have you done?
Sorry. I didn't
And
take
then I
it, so we're
unspoke
good.
again.
You're okay.
We
I
love
like that you freeze in one position and then all of a sudden you unfreeze, your head's like lolled to the side.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ.
I'm doing that just intentionally because I know that sometimes when I'm just sitting here, it doesn't look like I've frozen. So I'm like, if I unfreeze and I'm in a totally different position, maybe it will become clear to them that I have frozen.
We're gonna make it a game. Let's see what position Cal's gonna be in when the camera comes back on.
What weird shit I can do.
It's like you'll have a hat on.
Ceiling and hissing at everyone.
I've been replaced by my dog.
Wow, that's
But
rude,
you're
though.
just it's just ventriloquism. The dog's just moving.
Sorry.
How dare you cough and be doing near us?
I can't believe
Disgusting.
Absolutely unacceptable.
I can't be found out. I'm sorry.
So you all are enjoying this this tavern. Now, Rollin and Aethlin, just kind of speed up the process of party unification. I do have to ask, is there anything that you guys feel like we should do along this journey to kind of bring you guys closer towards what happened with Markwind? Because I will say this, Loftwood is probably the most likely bet for being able to find people who could help you.
I mean, given what Aethlin is at this point, I'm pretty sure he'd know that.
I mean, valid. I'm just here to read books and.
So given that, he's probably got some of his own contacts in Loftwood, so that's probably where he's gonna go.
Okay, for sure.
For recruitment purposes.
I trust that Aethlin knows what he's doing.
And
By
then,
now.
of course, I send word ahead, because last I had heard, one of my lieutenants was actually there.
Okay. Esme asks you before you kind of head off on this. She asks you, "Are you sure that you can trust these people?"
Caitlin just laughs and walks out the door. Because she has no idea what he is.
Okay. Yeah. Unless
Um,
Belle can't keep her big mouth shut.
He leaves Roland to field that question.
We have a couple secrets that we keep. I'll
Wow.
just
Wow, that seems to be a common thread with you people, huh?
I don't know why. It just I'll just pat her shoulder reassuringly and sign like, don't worry about that. Honestly. Oh no. Bye. Beach, bye.
It was wonderful while it was there.
Oh,
Jesus Christ!
that's a
Oh,
good one.
hell yeah.
Leggy in the air! Aw,
I love
yeah!
Sticky leggy out really
We're
fast.
figuring out ways to make this fun. How tall is Rollin?
He's 6'4".
6'4". Okay.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's a very tall baby.
He's taller than his husband,
Yeah.
who is only 5'11".
And
Yeah.
Esme is
She's left to our
Two-
imagination.
Esme is blank.
Esme is a person.
Esme is whatever height we so desire, so 10 feet tall.
Yes.
Oh, there's a shoe.
That's-
10 feet tall of big
Esme
lesbian
is
energy.
Esme is 2 inches taller than you. And she is wearing heels.
She's a big ass bitch.
I love her. She's the best.
Anyway, I'll just tell her not to worry about it.
I just wanted to say that because the image of you going there, like just up, even though you're a tall boy.
I'm your elder, I'll have you know.
I'm older than you at least by 300 years, probably.
Respect
How
me.
old is Esme, actually?
That's a good question. She would have been a kid when Rollin was still like a decently young adult. So I don't feel like doing math tonight. We'll do that later.
So like,
Because Jack and I figured this out. Roland's in his mid-30s.
by
No, I'm hoping that
understandable
means like,
standards.
yeah, I was gonna say by elven standards, not by like human standards, because that's a baby elf.
Yes.
That right there's a baby.
Yeah. Unlike Aethlin, who is half human.
Nerd.
And
I'm gonna live longer than you probably.
yeah, but you're the one who's gonna deal with the fallout when I die, so
Gross.
really.
Oof. Okay, this is a dark turn.
Who's winning?
True love. True love.
You know
Okay,
for a fact these are the words that come out of their mouths as they're traveling together.
Honestly.
Yeah, probably. Esme can read lips. She enjoys watching you guys kind of go back and forth with your banter. Occasionally, she will butt in with her own hand signals. She also does have message as a cantrip and will occasionally use that.
Fantastic.
Just to sort of get in on things or tell you guys to watch out. You're about to drive the cart into a tree or something like that.
Sounds
Which
like
is
them.
not exactly uncommon. The journey to Loftwood takes about a half of a day, so by the time you get there, it is early evening. You leave in the morning and you get there, it's the sun is starting to set and it's getting to the point where, all the lights are turning on and the lamps are being lit and the people are getting lit. Yeah. So yeah, you guys are in Loftwood. What is everybody doing first?
Well, Aethlin's gonna go get in contact with his lieutenant that's there.
Okay.
You have a
sounds
choice
good.
of 6, whichever 6 I've listed there. It's your call.
Okay, sounds good.
I did give you
So-
like a list of NPCs, so
Yes.
I was at least nice enough not to make you figure that shit out on your own.
No, it's all good. So let me just really quick, and I will figure that out for you in a second.
Yep.
I didn't freeze that time. That was just me going silent.
Not allowed.
Rollin, I assume that you do not usually accompany your husband on business.
Not if I can avoid it, to be honest.
Okay.
No offense.
So, Esme, or you know what? Actually, here's how I'm gonna do it. Aethlin, you are, after asking around a little bit and getting in contact with your sources, you find out that Umbra, the female Urgenasi, is going to be
Blast it all. Blast it all.
the Coldbrook Tavern. I'm
sorry, Umbra's gonna be where?
Umbra
And
is at the Coldbrook. She is at the Coldbrook Tavern,
Perfect.
which is a small tavern, sort of in the mid to outer city, where the less desirable types like to gather.
Perfect.
Like I told
Perfect
those
for
guys,
Aethlin.
it's a pretty chill place. You don't fuck with anybody else. Nobody else is gonna fuck with you. Don't ask too many questions. Don't cause a stir, and you'll be fine.
Valid.
So that is where she tells you to go. Or that is where you are told to go to meet with Umbra. Let's see. Well, now I gotta fucking. Rollin, where do you feel like you would want to start off at if you guys went into Loftwood looking for help? What do you think an idea would be for you?
For me?
Sure.
Good question. I'll probably ask Esme more about like how Belle's day was, like the day she disappeared or whatever.
Okay.
Like if anything seemed suspicious or that.
Yeah, definitely.
Detective
Esme tells
Rollin on the
you-
case. No. This is why we can't have nice things.
To be fair, if there was anything I could do to fix this,
I know,
would.
right?
Atlas is back.
I love you. You're
But there's
perfect.
not. This makes me want to be dead. Okay.
Honestly, I feel that.
So,
I'm kidding you.
the day that Belle disappeared, she had just gotten back from one of her trips. You are well aware that Belle still liked to travel, even after coming back from Barovia, and would often take day or even week-long trips to go find certain things, do things, see all kinds of stuff. There was actually there's a old site where there's some ruins not too far off from Markwind that she would go to visit fairly frequently. She would often bring home things like magical items. And that particular day, she came home from her travels. She and Esme caught up a little bit and got a chance to get together. Esme went to go start on dinner, and Belle went upstairs to get changed. And after a while, Esme realized that Belle hadn't come down yet, went up to check on her, and that's when she found all of that. She mentions that Belle seemed completely normal, that there didn't seem to be any issues, and that other than the pendant, she really didn't see any signs of Belle left behind.
Okay. That's not comforting at all. Okay. Well.
So,
God, I don't
good
know.
shit.
I don't even know. Oh God. I think I'm just gonna have to spend some thinking time.
Yes, you will. And I promise you, there are plenty of things out there to help you solve the mystery. So.
So.
Aethlin, do you try to get in contact with Rollin and Esme at all after you've managed to figure out where your contact is going to be?
I'd probably just let them know that's where I'm going to be. And
Okay.
then when they finish doing whatever it is that they would like to do, to meet him there.
Shopping!
Shopping!
Brooding and shopping!
Crying over some ale. I don't know.
You like walk into the fucking store and it's like, isn't this gorgeous? This dress just came in last week. It is gorgeous. It reminds me of that time when my fucking son died in the war or some shit like that.
Burst into tears.
Okay, so that being said, Rollin, you and Esme have been given directives on where to go. Once you're done with stuff, is there anything you want to do before you meet up with Aethlin at the tavern?
Is there a place to go look at books?
Yes, Loftwood actually has a very robust library with a number of different well-known magical tomes, history books, all kinds of awesome stuff. So it is a wizard's heaven, so to speak.
Sweet, my one vice. Okay. Let's just go drown
You're
my
like,
feelings
let's
in
put the
hope.
search on hold. It's time to go to the library.
It's time to learn. No, it's more me being sad and confused, and that's how I am gonna handle my feelings.
It is
Yes.
going and reading.
Yep.
I mean, Esme is happy to join you. Obviously, she lives in a library, so like, you know, a lot of her days are spent reading the books there. But you know, there's always books that she hasn't seen at other libraries, and that's kind of her big thing. So, she definitely doesn't mind the time to catch up. Is there anything specific that you want to do while you're at the library?
These are some good questions, bitch.
Well, it's not as though you won't have time to do other stuff in Loftwood. I mean, like whether you guys decide to leave immediately or not is up to you. But
no, nothing specific. I'm just kind of like looking for some cool. Like, I don't really have any info.
Right.
Look for, so I'm just gonna look for some cool tomes.
Okay. You know what? Give me a insight roll.
Insight. Boop boop.
Shit. Insight roll. Okay. Not your best. Okay, so insight roll. As you're walking into the library, you kind of notice that they have some like bulletin boards. The bulletin boards have a number of things. There's like a call to a public hearing. There's some advertisements for local businesses, just, you know, some little stuff. One of the ones that sticks out to you, there is a poster for a missing boy. It just kind of looks like any other missing poster. The boy looks like pretty normal, but there's a pretty hefty reward put on it, so that's kind of interesting. But yeah, I mean, that's really all you see going into the library.
I hate that. Oh, that sucks. Okay. Well,
Is that Rollins saying that? Like he walks in and he's like, it really sucks when people go missing. Anyways.
Well, good night.
Time for some fucking books.
Is that like a takeable poster? Can I take that with me?
I mean, sure. No one's stopping you.
Sweet. It's not a crime.
No, I mean, it feels like kind of a dick move, but like, you know.
Not if I find the kid.
I mean, I guess. Okay.
I'm going to perhaps ask around later on to see if it's like related.
Yes. Where did I cut out?
I don't even know.
Cool. So, like you said, you take the poster, and then, like you said, you just go into the library. You're just reading some books, checking out some shit, getting those AR tests done.
Oh yeah, totally.
Fuck yeah! All right. Okay, so you get that done. Esme joins you in the library. Reading is, you know, kind of helping her take her mind off of things. At one point, she kind of puts her book down, and she's sitting right next to you, and she sort of taps the top of your book to get your attention. And she signs. She just says, "I don't even really know what to think, because it could be that Belle is missing, and it could be that she's dead, and I don't want to think about that second possibility. But we need to consider, if she is, that what we're doing is a bit of a revenge mission."
Well, that got dark really fast.
Rollin, remembering who he's married to.
Me just having like Barovia flashbacks.
Revenge mission? Okay.
I know just the person for that. She's not dead. We'll find her. It's just not a possibility for me. Sorry.
You for you.
Oh no, you cut out my sweet
Of course I
flower.
did. Rollin, you know I love you and respect you and think of you as a teacher, a mentor, someone I can trust. But that's a very naive thing to say, even for you.
Okay, bitch.
So you guys, I mean, do you want to rebut that?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'll just let it go.
It's up to you. Okay. So anyways, you guys kind of have your day at the library. You catch up a little bit. She sort of fills you in on how life's been with Belle and everything. And, it's sort of therapeutic for her because she gets a chance to sort of talk about her. And then at the same time, it's, just nice to catch up with your old student. So once you guys are done there, you head to the place that Aethlin designated for you guys. When you walk in, like I said, it is just like a one-room tavern. It's not a big one. There's people from all walks of life, all races, all sorts of people, and they all seem to just be enjoying themselves, kind of chatting amongst each other. There's music playing. There seems to be a bardic performer on stage who is just singing his little heart out. Bless his soul. You spot Aethlin across the room. So Quintrell.
And she freezes.
No.
Knowing, and I fucking froze again, so that's delightful.
Yes, you called Quintrell's name and then you froze.
Quintrell! Quintrell, you get to Loftwood, and as you arrive at the gates, there is somebody waiting for you. They are dressed in fairly nondescript clothes, and they beckon towards you and begin to lead you towards a small tavern kind of off into a back street. Do you follow them, first of all?
Yeah, I don't even say anything to them. They start beckoning me, I just follow.
Okay.
I can always kill them later if I need to.
There you go. I like that attitude.
Oh, it's a back alley. Good, no witnesses.
Oh, sweet, cool.
Aetlin's just like, please don't kill my people.
I'm not trapped in here with you. You're all trapped in here with me.
Besides, this guy looks thiefy, and I can only think of one thief that'd be calling for me, so
You're like, this is that twink motherfucker again, isn't it?
I'm just on the lookout for, fireballs.
I don't do that anymore. I have kids. Firebolt.
Everyone who has kids knows that AoE spells are the only thing you can use with them because they're too damn fast.
No, it's called I have snare now. Duh.
Oh, that's ethical.
Hang them upside down for 8 hours. Why not?
Permanent brain damage. It's fine. So yes, Quintrell, you arrive at this tavern. You're kind of brought in through a back door, but again, very small place. There's some music playing. So not a whole thing. As you do arrive, though, you recognize a familiar face. Sitting in one of the booths is your old buddy, Aethlin. And I would assume by then, as well, your old buddy, Rollin. And they are sitting with an unfamiliar elven woman who appears to be making small talk with Rollin. So yeah.
I walk up, or Quintrell walks up, grabs a chair, and sits down at the table without saying anything else. Drops the little summons paper he had on the table. Are we having a reunion?
That didn't take long. Thanks for coming.
Wish it was under better circumstances.
What has gone wrong?
Well, the best of us has gone missing. You tell me.
That's a stretch.
Is it?
Is it though?
Yeah.
Well, she is little.
No.
She is little and easy to lose.
Is that really a
Between
stretch?
all of us, I feel like Belle is easily the best.
You want to arm wrestle about it?
Yeah, I do want to arm wrestle about it with my negative fucking 1 strength. This is the worst.
You still probably have advantage over Belle.
She likes to roam around. Are we certain she's missing, or did she just leave on a trip?
Esme, the elven woman who you weren't aware of at first, sort of gets your attention, and then I am giving you all the language common hand, which is basically my version of ASL. So she signs at you that there was a pool of blood, and she left behind her clerical pendant.
Are we
So-
certain that it was her blood?
Esme nods. She hesitates a little bit, but then she nods.
Good question. I don't know what to make of that.
That is a good question. Is there DNA testing in Faerun?
It's called
Not
magic.
really.
Can we take this down to like the fucking? Well,
Yeah,
okay, we're just gonna have to
CSI.
Run it through the labs.
the Faerun CSI. CSI Faerun.
Looks like
My
they've
dog
got
is-
elf to pay. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I love you.
Oh, it's pretty. You mean like when someone eats too much hobbit bread, or like when someone shoots too many
Or
arrows?
like when someone eats too many. Oh my god. I love that bit so much.
It's really good. So, yes,
Yes.
Quintrell, you have joined the party. Quintra, you have good ears. What someone might say dog ears, or something like that.
Oddly specific.
You know, like if perhaps there were dog involvement. Hey, puppy, come here. Not you, Quintra. You stay there.
I'm gonna leave now.
Oh.
Yeah, you're banned. It's puppy time.
No puppies allowed.
Munchie.
Munchie.
A baby.
Hi.
What a big
He is a
baby.
baby. He is a big baby. So Quindra, you have good ears, dog ears, if you will. And you catch a couple words being spoken at a booth not too far away from you. What would Quintra be in a tavern for? Like, would he be drinking anything, or would he just kind of be sitting there waiting for someone to like?
No, he'd probably just come in here to eat, and that's about
He
it.
has his soda and cran. It's okay,
He's got
good.
like a plate of dog food.
Fucking kibble.
I quit.
Just like not using utensils, just. I'm
Oh,
sorry,
no.
that's rude.
That's
I think he would've been kicked out at that point.
speciesist, and I don't appreciate it, actually.
Not even directed at you.
Rollin always makes sure that everyone is being fair with each other.
Everyone's friends, always.
Yes, it is law.
Mm.
So, Quintra, you're just kind of eating your meal, you're chilling.
Mhm.
When you hear a table not too far away mention the name Belle, which is not exactly a common name, and it is somebody that you have met before. You have a pretty vivid memory. You spent about, I would say, like 2.5 weeks with someone named Belle. She was this little halfling woman, very loud, very obnoxious.
You mean
asked you to arm wrestle her several times. And you were serving as her guide when she was looking to find some ancient ruins that may or may not have existed somewhere in the Beelwick Woods. And obviously you're very familiar with the Beelwick Woods, so you were kind of helping her through that. And the two of you were working together for a time. Now, you're not entirely sure this is the same Belle, but you do kind of hear them, you do overhear their conversation.
Now I've got an odd question. Because Esme is Belle's partner, does Esme have any sort of smell on her that smells like Belle?
Oh, absolutely. They live in the same house. They spend all their time together. And on top of that, she has Belle's gloves. So Belle's gloves would probably be.
Perfect.
So that's a good point.
He'll stay back for now, but he'll pay more attention. Oh! Sorry.
That's kind of a weird choice, but if that's what you're doing, go for it.
No, he'll stay back, but he'll start paying more attention to the conversation.
Okay, sounds
Gonna
good.
be a snoop.
This spare mouse is a pain in my ass. Come on, you can do it. Work, damn you. Okay.
Well, if somebody didn't lose the original mouse, you wouldn't have to use a spare one.
Shut up! Shut up! Be nice to me. I'm baby.
But I'm baby.
So, okay, so Alexander is.
There they go.
Yeah, she had a good little run this time, though.
I know, right?
Fucking. Hi, I'm back.
Hi.
Is it pronounced Cap? Do you pronounce it Lyxander, or how do you pronounce that?
Lysander.
Lysander. Fantastic. Lies and slander, and then you combine them, and it's Lysander. Oh.
No.
What was that? I couldn't hear you over the sound of a plane crashing, apparently. Or rapidly descending, yeah.
It's a no from me.
Okay, so,
You were asking me a question.
Yes, I was asking you a question. So you finish up your set for the night.
Okay.
It has started to not calm down, but people are getting more into that stage of the night where any more music and you might end up dead. So
I breathe a long sigh of relief.
I do know how to read a crowd.
What would be your instrument of choice? What would you be?
He has several of them there, but this last one was him using a dulcimer.
A dulcimer, I love it. So you got the fucking hammers and shit.
No, not the hammered dulcimer.
No, just a normal dulcimer.
The regular lat played dulcimer.
All right, fucking nerd.
Yes.
Love him.
And you're back.
And you're back.
I love when I do that, and by that I mean I'm going to kick AT&T's ass. AT&T, if you're there, I'm going to kill you.
I'm not a nerd. I'm tragically hip.
Stop.
No.
You're perfect.
It's bad. So as you're packing up, you happen to overhear, or rather, I would say oversee, someone in the crowd is making hand motions, and they are very rapid, very distressed hand motions, and they're definitely not like just nonverbal, like someone talking and kind of doing things with their hands, like I'm doing right now. It is easily recognizable as common hand.
They're not just commonly gesticulating with their hands; they're actually signing.
Exactly. So you catch, very briefly from this common hand, you catch Pool of Blood and the pendant she used for her clerical work. That is about all you catch. It's not entirely uncommon in places like these to hear about things like pools of blood. And honestly, I mean, anything about this interaction other than the fact that someone is using common hand, which is not, despite the name, not very common. So you kind of see this taking place, and you see this. Obviously, maybe, definitely.
I see this, and then you cut out.
Oh, you see a man a couple tables over. He seems to be paying closer attention to this conversation these people are having, but it still doesn't really seem to concern you. So you don't necessarily have to check into it. There is plenty of other stuff going on around here. When would you have gotten into Loftwood, do you think?
Probably be my second night.
Okay. So you've been here for a bit.
I wouldn't say I played both nights at this tavern. If there was another one, I probably tried to make the circuit locally.
Gotcha. No, I like that. So you've kind of been you've done a couple of gigs actually, a couple of daytime gigs. Hi, hello, yes, hi. You want to get down? Is that what you're trying to do? Okay, good girl. No.
Actually, bad girl.
Hey, shut up.
Stop dogging being dog.
Stop being a dog, idiot. Stupid idiot dog. Anyways, I love her. So yeah, you've kind of done the circuit. You've done a couple of different gigs around here. You did like some.
And so I've done some day gigs. I've done some.
Yeah, you've done some day gigs. You did one for a group of elders that was like a Sunday matinee. Half of them fell asleep while you were doing it, but it was, it was funny. So you've been around the block. In your time here in Loftwood, you have gotten to kind of know some of the local stuff that's been going on. Loftwood's a large city. It's the largest one in the Basin area that you guys are in. The second largest city would be Breakblane. But it is the largest city. It has a number of different interesting amenities. It's best known for the fact that many of its larger buildings are actually built on top of old castles, which is, they're not that old because it is Faerun, but like they're old enough that it's kind of interesting to see there's been almost like a clash of architecture because it's very modernized around here. And just in general, it's a very interesting, very vibrant city. And it's right up against the Wolfwood River. So there's a large port business here as well. But one of the more interesting local rumors that you've been hearing about lately is that there was a missing boy who went missing not too long ago, a couple of weeks at this point, but still not that long. He was kind of a local celebrity. Did I freeze? No. Did I?
Nope.
No?
Cool.
You're good.
Sorry. Sometimes my cameras make it look like I froze.
Local celebrity?
He's a local celebrity because he is a kid who claims to have seen another world. Now, this is not entirely uncommon because you are in Faerun and that does happen and magic happens and all that fun stuff.
Just casually slipping into the fairy realm, like no.
Yes, but the way that it is told is that this kid went to go visit a series of crystal clear ponds across the river, which have for a long time been called the fairy ponds. And that while he was there, he was spirited away to another realm. And this story has kind of been, some people believe it, some people don't, but it's largely just been a big deal because his parents have kind of been playing it up. Like, oh my God, our kid got spirited away to this other realm. Like it was a whole thing. And they've written like a memoir and all this bullshit. But recently he's gone missing. And there has been some stir about whether or not the parents might have done something or if he's just gone missing in general or what could have happened. But that has been the big talk of the town as of late.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I have been the world-famous Lysander Firewind, and you have been adequate people.
We don't know who you are! Get off the stage!
Because you're from a very small location, I'm sure. Very rustic, quaint, I'm sure is the word they use for it.
Eat shit!
Lord.
Well, while I can capitalize on the cuisine of your particular choice not being to my
Ooh.
appetite, I will just say that I will decline your invitation to sup at your table.
I like this motherfucker.
Wow.
All right, so Lysander, you
Aethan's just gonna lean over to Rollin and just. Does he not know that if he stops talking to them, they don't continue? Does he not understand this basic concept?
Well, you know, he's a bard. So.
Apparently,
he's a
those
bard.
words were a bit too large for you, so I will sum it up in these words: No, thank you. I go, you stay.
Oh my god, he's an
It is-
idiot.
Literally taking all of my restraint not to just go over there and just fuck with him.
I mean,
Because
there's nothing
it's like
stopping
today has
you.
been awful, but like, ooh man.
There's nothing stopping you, Rollin.
Takes the
Aethan's
dulcimer.
just kind of like nudging Rollin to go because he wants to watch this.
He swings the dulcimer around and like hooks it onto his back, and you can see that he takes a violin that's been perched up on a stand and puts it in a case and closes it. So like swinging a great axe and then like hooking it onto your back carrying case, but it's a dulcimer instead.
Nice.
Fantastic and perfect.
Oh yes, he's wearing those big poofy pants that you know that they
Oh,
Oh
wore.
fuck yeah!
The
bard
big
pants.
Literally,
pants.
of course he is. Okay.
The
with
bard pants.
stockings and like the
Mhm.
buckled shoes.
Now you have
Oh,
to.
Lord.
Now you
Yeah.
have to.
I literally, yeah, I do. I
The
do have-
vest is like it's a brocade vest that matches the pants, but it's wide open and like the shirt has this huge wide collar, like it's the 1970s, and we're trying to see if we can go shoulder to shoulder.
Uh-huh.
God.
Just
Of
huge
course.
collar.
Oh my god, Jack Knight, you gotta.
No, it would be rude of me not to say thank you for the performance.
Oh yes, that's what you're gonna go say thanks for.
The hair
Yes.
is like
I
this.
totally believe you, darling.
It's this thick
By something,
mousy brown
sorry.
color that falls just below his ears, like not to his shoulders, but like just to the back of his neck. And it's
Okay.
and the front of it is like this big giant, like pompadour style like hair
Oh,
too on the
Lord.
front.
I hate him. Okay.
Off you go, dear. Let's go.
Be sure
Oh
to
my
compliment his
God.
pantaloons.
What will you give me if I go over
Charles
there?
getting in on this.
What do you mean will I give you? I'm married to you. I gave you everything. What more do you want?
Esme says, I'll give you 5 gold.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. Deal accepted. And I get up and I saunter over and I just try to get his attention gently.
What? How are you dressed right now? Just in like traveling clothes, like robes.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a hobo.
Okay, listen. I'm just probably wearing like
Which is also what he was wearing the first time he met Aethlin, and then promptly got threatened to be killed.
that was on purpose though. There was a method to my madness then. Okay. Well, I'd say not super fancy because I don't want
Mhm.
everybody to fucking know I'm a noble and like filthy ass rich.
Mhm.
But like I don't look
Aw,
dirty or
he's
anything.
humble.
Yeah. Hashtag stay humble.
He even walks with his hands, like his forefinger and thumb are touching, and his fingers are up in the air as he steps down the stage. Tick, tick.
This fucking guy.
Excuse me.
Oh, look, the valet. You can take my bags upstairs.
Pretending I'm not
Oh, this
extremely
man could
offended.
buy you. He
No,
could
no.
buy you.
I could buy his whole family.
Oh,
I'm
no.
not the valet. I just heard your performance and I wanted to say thank you very much for the beautiful songs.
Oh, you've heard of me. The world-famous Lysander Firewind, of course you've heard of me.
Of course. I just never thought I'd meet you in the flesh.
Well, I don't
Or
normally sign
whatever.
autographs for fans, but for you I'd make an exception.
Really?
Do you have a parchment, or shall I just sign your forehead or something?
I'll sign your tits.
No.
Can you sign my
He has
cat?
none.
Oh,
Caitlin
sure.
would disagree.
And I will dig around in my bag for like I more than likely have something.
Do you
You're
have like
a
a
wizard.
joke quill?
You have parchment, I'm
I
sure.
have
Yeah, you
several
are the-
pieces of parchment.
You are literally the fantasy equivalent of me who carries around a box with like 50 million different art supplies. Like, yeah, you're good.
Me. Okay, yes. I'll pick something like half decent looking quality and not wrinkly and like hand it over.
Okay, you hand him that and the quill, and he kind of
Mhm.
looks at the quill. Oh, whatever. And he dips it in the
Well,
ink.
if you have your own
Should
quill
I-
that you would rather use.
No. You would have this one. Be held by the artistic hand of Lysander Firewind. You can say a story to tell. The world famous Lysander Firewind held this pen to sign this parchment.
Hmm.
Who shall I
Of
make this
course.
out to? My most adoring fan?
These nuts.
Literally, I was trying to think of like the fucking Faerun equivalent of these nuts.
Aethlin's just leaning over to Quintrell. If he insults my husband one more time, I'm going to kill him.
It's okay. It's funny.
Do we not have more pressing matters than this?
Stricken.
Listen, let us
Do you though?
have
Dumbfounded.
this.
I love
Okay?
this.
We do have more pressing matters than this, but
The night is getting rather.
I'm literally. Oh my god! I'm just fucking Abraham Lincoln.
You're fucking Abraham.
Abraham Lincoln. And he rolls it up and hands both of them back to you. Well, you're not the valet. I guess I shall find my own porter.
Please, if we have the chance to talk again, I'm sure my husband would love to talk to you. He's the biggest fan.
Shit,
I'm too shy.
Oh,
to come
point
approach
him. I would love to meet a fan. Point him out. Who is he?
And I turn and I point straight
Bro.
to Aitlin. And I wave.
With leaving the violin on the edge of the stage, the dulcimer still slung on his back. Fingertips out, thumb and forefinger together on each hand. He daintily walks through the crowd with a flounce every step. The heel of the shoe that he's wearing, the buckled shoe, clicking on the wood as he goes.
Oh, I might actually kill this man. I might actually
It's a yes for me,
kill
bro.
this man.
Aethlin, I'm gay, but I'm not that gay.
Yeah, I thought I was gay. Goddamn.
What do you mean?
Okay.
I'm not gay.
No,
Oh no.
Oh no, nobody would believe you're
Get that color
straight, honey.
sandwich smirk. I've seen it on every guy at work.
He takes a deep bow, fingertips being in the perfect place that they are. He takes a deep bow. A pleasure to make your acquaintance. I am the world famous Lysander Firewind, and you are?
Aethlin's looking at Rollin, like, what the
Abraham
fuck did you tell him?
Lincoln.
Oh, is he? Your husband, Abraham Lincoln, sent me over.
Abraham! Darling, how about you come sit down next to me again?
Of course. Aren't you happy? It's the famous Lysander. We've always
Firewind.
talked about this moment, of course.
It's the entirety. It's necessary
I-
for the
I'm-
ambiance of the whole thing.
I'm so sorry. Please excuse me.
It's forgiven.
You may live.
Aethlin's arm just goes around the back of Rollin's chair. Lysander Firewood. I do believe that we've heard of your performances. You've never made it to our small town.
Our Hamlet. if you
Oh,
will.
well, the current touring positions that I'm in take me to the larger locations, such as Loftwood. I don't make it often to the small, humble burgs in the
His
rural
town.
areas.
Esme signs, you sounded great.
Why, thank you. He doesn't sign back, but he acknowledges.
She's deaf.
Aethlin,
He doesn't know
Aethlin
this.
relays.
He
Aethlin
doesn't know
relays
this.
that information.
Yep.
Like,
She's
not
just
that
signing
she's
'cause
deaf.
it's fun.
He just signs to her what he had said back.
Okay, got you. Well, yeah, and she can read lips, so it
Yeah.
should be okay. But she would probably appreciate the gesture.
And then Aethlin is just gonna kind of lean forward a little bit on the table. So how long have you been here in Loftwood?
Oh, well, this leg of the tour only has me here for yesterday and today, just a couple of days. I've been making the local stops, as it were, treating people to the very finest of music that they don't really often get a chance, I'm sure.
Mm.
This
How
crowd was one of the low ends, and I.
Of course, the low end. Even us simple folk. And he glances at at Rollin. Enjoy music every once in a while.
Well, I'm sure it beats pooping over a jug.
Is that what they do?
As a performer, I'm sure you've heard some of the local rumors around here.
Something about a missing boy, some sort of mishigash with seeing other realms. I'm sure it's just a simple child playing tricks. It's nothing more.
And if I told you these other realms were real?
Unless they have musical stylings that I could take from them, or perhaps fancy stories. I'm not much of a scald, but I could maybe write an epic or something.
I'll just lean to Aethlin and be like, he'd really fit in Barovia, wouldn't
Oh, yes,
Mm,
absolutely.
mhm.
And there's a rather easy way to get to Barovia down in Daggerford.
Oh yes, I've heard of Barovia. Yes. I think I've toured through there once, maybe. Point in time. They all blur together.
Yes, of course.
Oh, yes, I am absolutely sure you have toured through Barovia.
Such a treat being there.
So,
Yes, I remember how wonderful the sun shone through the valley or through the
Yes.
plains
Golden,
over there.
glittering.
how
sunrise.
how loose is Lysander's clothing?
Oh no!
Oh, no. I don't like that question. What is this
Yeah,
question?
that's a weird question.
I mean, they're not snug. He's not wearing like a schmedium, but they're not. But I mean, they're not like hanging off of him.
Is he sitting at the table?
He's standing.
He's standing. The cuffs of his shirt,
hmm
they're a little bit loose or they're tight around the wrist?
they are folded back, and they're not pinned with like a cuff link.
Okay.
But you can see that they're folded back and maybe stitched to keep that cuff there.
So what I'd like to do is Aethlin would like to grab a hold of his wrists and pin them to the table.
Sexy.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's gonna be a strength versus
Just Aethlin.
yeah, just a strength contest.
Just Aethlin things.
Just
This
Aethlin
is
things.
how he bonds with strangers. Don't mind him.
Would I
It's
be
how
able to
he
roll
shows
athletics?
affection. Yeah, you can do
This is gonna
athletics.
go awfully.
I'm just kind of like, what you doing?
Yeah, this is gonna go awfully because I don't have any strength points. If it was acrobatics, that would be a different story.
Yeah, don't touch me.
How about you be honest with me because you've never been to Barovia in your life?
What does it matter if I've been or not?
And of course I was cutting out, but yeah, if you want to use athletics or acrobatics, Maddie, you can.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah, because I think we were doing
that's
that.
better.
Holy
Jesus
shit!
fucking Christ!
Don't
All
kill
right.
the guy.
I'm not gonna
Great
kill him. No,
spot
no, no,
because
no,
of
no.
this.
Well, no, that's
Ah, my music hands!
As opposed to your non-musical.
I
hand.
play instruments with those. Don't hurt them.
Play us a song, you're the piano
I
hand.
haven't yet insured them against such things as ruffians slamming them on the tables. Please
he's not
let go of my
slamming them.
hands.
He's
You
just
know,
grabbing a hold of
ruffian
them and holding
insurance.
them against the table. Relax.
He doesn't. He's. Come on. What about
No,
him
I
makes you
know,
think
I know, I know.
Don't!
Just
Oh, please
calm
don't hurt me. I'll give you every coin I
yourself.
have.
Take a deep
Aw.
breath. Take a deep breath.
No, he's
I almost feel bad for the motherfucker.
Make it stop.
Oh my god.
Almost.
Yes.
Aethan's just gonna pause for a second and look over at Roland. I haven't made somebody piss themselves in fucking years.
I haven't yet pissed myself.
No, but you're well on your way from that reaction.
Well, I mean, you did accost my person. Aren't there laws against such a thing?
Well, really.
Not in this
Not in
tavern.
here, buddy.
Now,
Help,
listen to
help.
me.
A sue for some
I-
help?
Oh, honey, nobody's gonna help you here.
Uh,
Now, what do you know about these rumors? You're the kind of man that can listen and play at the same time, are you not?
I am, but what really makes you think I've been paying attention to them? I mean, have you met me?
No,
Got a point.
I haven't.
We just were
I met you
introduced. Your
as
husband,
of
Abraham
3
Lincoln.
minutes ago. No. One, I wouldn't be so foolish as to marry a man named Abraham Lincoln.
What's wrong
Sounds
with
like
my
a
name?
turtle dick.
I'm so sorry. This is apparently not a relationship that goes both ways.
Aethan's just gonna look at Roland just like, you are awful at lying, and we need to work on that.
Is there a fantasy Abraham Lincoln? Like,
God, there is now.
did he
Apparently.
end like fantasy slavery? Like what?
Yes. he
Well,
did.
actually, in Calimport, I guess you could, if you look at the history of Calimport, you could name somebody that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there you go.
The priest of Ilmater that.
I just want to say, Lysander, how much of a stink do you make when Aethlin pins you to the table? Like, genuinely.
Oh, like he's been accosted and roughed up and worked over. He is putting up a scene.
Gross.
God.
Okay.
I mean,
know.
he is hamming it up, overacting like Jim Carrey movie.
So he's genuinely making a stink.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. That being said, Aethlin, someone's gonna come and tap you on the shoulder. When you turn around, it's a pretty burly looking dude, and Lysander, he looks at you and he asks, "Hey, this guy giving you trouble?"
Lysander,
hands
wait, no.
We're going to tighten
Wait.
just a little bit in warning.
He looks at his hands being pinned,
Mhm.
feels them tighten, then looks at Aethlin, then looks up at the big burly guy. I'm being given a signal that no, there's no trouble at all.
The guy kind of looks at both of you, and he sort of looks back at somebody standing behind the bar and just sort of nods a little bit. And he steps away, but you're under the impression that, Aethlin, you better not pull any more shit or you're going to get your ass kicked out of here.
Uh-huh.
He gives one of those pained smiles that, like you ask a kid to smile for the camera, and they pull one of those things. Where
I'm
they're
Yeah.
just gonna. I'm gonna
stretched.
lean. I'm gonna lean over because it's a disaster already. Aethlin, please, just you're at a 10. Remember how we talked? How we had a level. And there's the level 1 to 10. You're at a 10 right now. Can I get you down to a 5? And maybe you could release this man for now, please.
Abraham speaks the truth. You're a bit.
You should probably stop talking for 30 seconds and let my husband Rollin
Who's Rollin?
The one you keep calling Abraham
Hi.
Lincoln.
Okay, there is a reason for and I'll pull out this horrendous autograph and just slide it across the table. I may have given a fake name.
Oh, I love you. I'm so proud of you. Finally, you're joining the family business.
But
I've never
I
been.
slammed up and I couldn't think of a better name.
ended in my entire career.
We need to work on that.
Don't cry. Ugh. It's not
Please
a
don't
good
cry.
look, honestly.
I can't help it. I'm just trying to make some coin and move
Oh,
about.
Okay.
he's an ugly crier.
Hold on.
Yes, I am. Really, truly am.
Oh my god.
Okay, Lysander, you start crying, and this fucking dude comes back, and he's like, all right.
Aethan lets him go as soon as he starts crying because
I'm
Jesus
gonna
Christ,
have
man,
to ask all of you to leave.
No, please. We're just talking. I just
Wait
I
a
played-
second. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Did you say you let go of him as soon as he starts
Yeah.
crying? As soon as you let go of him, he goes, thank you.
Oh my
My
god.
Yeah, as soon as you let go, and as soon as you stop crying, the dude comes back over and says, all right, you guys are causing a disturbance. I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
I need the coin that was promised to me for my job tonight.
Yeah, someone will give it to you. Just wait in that back alley. Try not to get bit by that
Oh.
raccoon that hangs out back there.
Oh God, no.
At the term back alley, Aethlin's just, oh really?
Oh no.
Really?
Just
Oh, no.
allow me to.
What is
get
with you
my-
in alleys?
If you'll allow me to get my case.
Oh, but Roland, I have such fond memories of an alleyway. It was the first
That
time
sounds
I
wrong.
Esme-
It's just like in
Esme
so many
cover-
levels.
It
Esme
sounds
covers her
way
eyes.
worse than it
She covers
is.
her eyes.
No. It winds up being way worse than it sounds. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. You got me there.
Um,
Parting is such sweet sorrow. Why don't you come with us? We could use your
You're
charisma.
all getting kicked out into the back alley. Don't
no,
make
yeah,
any
but he
mistake.
could totally be like, "Bye, suckers," and then I don't know, fart in our general.
So
direction or
I
whatever.
grab my case and loudly exclaim, I can tell when I'm not wanted. But just know that this evening you are graced by one of the greatest presents that will ever enter this building. Ever.
Hey, wasn't
you'll
that
be
guy
hearing from my
filling in for
publicist.
Jody?
You'll
And
be
he
hearing
leaves.
from my publicist.
And you'll be hearing from my publicist. And he leaves through the back alley.
Aethlin's gonna talk to the big burly guy and let him know that he was meeting one of his lieutenants here.
Okay.
Um,
The burly
just
guy
that-
kind of.
he'll just be in the back corner waiting for her to show up.
Okay. He kind of nods. Do you have like a personality in mind for Umber? Or are you okay if I kind of make one up?
Go
Like
for it.
what's okay?
Go for it.
Cool.
The only one I had anything in mind was for Carter, and that's just she gives him as much shit as she possibly can.
Nice. Nice. I can do that. But yeah, so Umbra, so everybody else is kind of kicked out that back door. That includes Quintrell, Esme, and Roland. Aethlin is the only one kind of allowed to stay
How
on the
rude.
premises.
Aethlin gets us kicked out. I can't believe this.
So
Aethlin does
you guys
promise
are-
Roland he'll be there as soon as he can. He just needs to meet with Umbra first.
Thanks.
So you guys
know,
are standing.
Handle him, Abraham Lincoln.
So, you guys are sent out to the back alley, and we will get back to you, but first I want to do this bit with Umbra and Aethlin. So, Aethlin, you are waiting for Umbra inside the tavern.
Yep.
It does take a bit of time before finally you see someone come in who is no doubt her. She's fairly tall. She's Air Genasi, so her skin is kind of a lightish blue undertone. The way she walks is very distinctive as well. And she approaches you kind of standing in the side and gives the traditional greeting of your Thieves Guild.
He returns it.
The three amigos greeting.
So I was thinking they just walk up and shiv each other.
course.
Initials, sign.
That's how you do it.
To be fair, all of Aethlin's lieutenants were all part of the assassination squad with the friggin' group before he took over.
So
So attempting to kill each other is probably not a far off guess. But he returns it.
So, Aethlin, you were looking for information, yes?
Mm-hmm. We got, somebody's gone missing.
Right. The halfling, yes?
Yeah.
Well, there's not much to be found on her. She's all over the place, and yet there's not much family history and the like. A lot of word of mouth. People are very interested in talking about all the strange things she does, but none of it seems particularly out of the ordinary. You know how it is. But that being said, nobody's seen her per se, but everyone I've asked has been mentioning that boy that went missing and how strange that is. The other thing I would like to mention is that there's been, sightings. Not of this missing girl, but rather sightings of strange phenomenon in each town. We've been dealing with them for some time now, and we've been meaning to tell you, of course. Didn't want to disturb your domestic activities.
You know for a fact you're supposed to send reports to Hemlane, and if he needs me, then he contacts me.
Yes, I'm aware. Now, that being said, we didn't really think it was of any interest until
Frozen.
But by any kind of thief or rogue or anything of that sort. It appears to be cold-blooded and random and bloody. I'll direct you in Palouse. There has been tales of a ghost, so to speak, that's been going around killing men. That's about all I've got for now, but it could be related to your case somehow. After all, this has been fairly short notice, and while we've tried to scour our information network, there's been very little on this Bell friend of yours.
Well, keep looking. If you find anything, you'll be able to find me.
Absolutely.
My husband doesn't hide very well, so.
Yes, he is a bit of a, what's a nice way of putting this? A bit of a standout?
Yes.
Triggered.
Look, I'm looking for somebody who might be able to help us around the area. A tracker, maybe. A guide. Any ideas?
I would suggest you start with right about where you are. That man at that table over there. His name is Quentra. He does require a pretty penny for his services, but I do suggest them highly. Excellent. In that case, I'll leave you to it.
Perfect. And of course, Umbra.
Yes.
Good luck. And it's always good to see
you. Yes, likewise, Aethlin. Take it easy now.
Well, I'm gonna do my best. I got a halfling to find.
Ha! They're quite small. I recommend you find a magnifying glass if you can.
Trust me, I won't need it. She doesn't know how to keep her mouth shut.
Oof.
Well, perhaps that will make both of our jobs easier.
That's Hydas!
Rollin from the alleyway. That's Hydas!
Not
You're
even.
tall.
It's like a window
about?
right behind Aethlin. It's just you just see Rollin's face pressing against
Were
it.
you listening this whole time, Rollin? Yeah!
Literally, I have clairvoyance.
You're just like, you're like standing out there with them and they're like, what the fuck is wrong with Rollin? He's just gone totally dead. I think he's using a spell. For what?
He just shouts out as they're saying that, that's Hydas!
I'm eavesdropping. That's all.
Oh man, anyway. Then Aethlin will head over to Quentra's table.
Alright. So, Quentra, I assume you're still just kind of enjoying your...
Milk and cookies. Yeah.
Milk and cookies!
Oh my god, you're Santa Claus.
You're a dog, you can't have chocolate.
Oh, okay, never mind, I can't have chocolate.
You're gonna poop so much!
And then die.
Right.
leaving. I quit. No, just water and a meat plate of something
A meat
of sorts.
thing. Fantastic.
Okay. So I'm gonna let you guys do that because that's between y'all.
Sure. Aethlin's gonna slip into the chair across from Quintra.
Yep. Quintra will look up but won't say anything.
I hear you're a guide for those who have the coin.
You're not wrong.
You busy?
He looks down to his meat plate. A little.
No, I mean, are you contracted with somebody? God.
I'm a
Damn.
little preoccupied at the moment with my meat
Right
plate.
now? Yes.
Me in real life, though. Let's be real.
No contracts up of late.
Okay. What does it cost for your services?
That's a good question. First said pretty penny, and I didn't think of it.
How much gold do you have?
You could do like 2,000 gold. That'd be pretty fucking.
What's he got in his pockets? What, like 30 gold?
Jesus, that's so cheap.
I don't know. Quintra's
He's
a cheap man.
budget bitch,
Yeah.
okay?
Well, depending on how it goes, 30 gold to start
We
out.
out here hyping up your fucking prices and
Fine,
you're just like
50.
"Yeah,
Listen,
30
bitch,
gold."
100 gold, okay? 100. I'll fight. No, like
God.
30 gold to start
Like
out, depending on how.
3,000, dude.
Do you want to be
Love
my
yourself.
boss? Atlas says 3,000. 3,000 gold it is. Jeez.
A day.
A day. An hour, actually.
Not including a stipend.
And if I get injured, that's double.
You know,
Workman's comp.
Alright.
OSHA doesn't exist in Faerun, but if it did.
We're looking for a friend of ours. She's gotten missing.
That I know. Sorry, good ears.
What does Quintra look like?
Uh,
a dog.
yeah, big dog head.
I
No.
actually have a picture that I did of his face, but
I asked Atlas.
Hell yeah.
Commissioned. Quintra has a hood up, so as far as you can tell, he looks human.
Okay.
He's just got splotched skin.
Okay. Alright.
thanks, Dad. This is live on Twitch. Yay.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad.
They all say hi, Dad. Okay, please continue with your bargaining. It was very interesting.
And then Aethlin's going to pull out a small pouch of gold. In it are 55 gold pieces.
Works as a starting fee, I guess.
55 gold pieces to start. I'll pay you another 4 gold pieces a day. For however long this takes. And then if we find her in one piece and whole, 100 gold pieces. Guaranteed. You get 50 if we don't find her.
Oh, I'm sure we'll find her. You have a motley crew with you, too. To say the least.
Yeah, well,
Dare
I
you
mean,
speak ill of Abraham?
three of us were in the same plane as very trying lives. As I said to one of my compatriots, we are going to look for the best of us. The female elf is her partner, and my husband seems to think that our party needs somebody with a little bit more charisma. Yeah, that's my thought. He just sees like the grimace underneath the hood, doesn't see like the full like details of the features. Just like, yeah, no, I'm thinking that too.
Oof. Dog, wrong person asked. No, Yeah. Quintra will agree to help.
Aethan's gonna hold his hand out.
Gross. Yeah, he'll shake your hand.
You're
He's like, it's like slight hand. You can tell now as he raises his hand, actually, his skin is like, you could see his arms for the most part. His skin is like a dark he's tan, but he has light patches of skin across his body.
okay. Aethan's gonna shake his hand. You're now in the service of Aethan Dontar Ferreira.
Ferreira,
Rocher.
Carmen Ferreira.
Is that
Ferreira.
I don't
Is that
Farrah?
a chocolate?
Okay.
Yeah.
Faria?
Ferrero Rocher.
That's, I was like, I
Like,
can't have that. I'm
Jack.
allergic.
I try, okay?
I'm sorry.
I try really hard.
That is your husband. No.
Anyway,
Okay.
so
You guys have
introduces
Ferrero
himself,
coupling.
basically. And then and your name?
Just Quintra. Quintra.
Nice to
sorry.
meet you, Quintra. When you're done eating, we'll be at this location. He jots down the name of another inn for them to be staying at.
Oh, he'll just take a handful of the meat off the plate and then get up.
I love him so much.
This
that-
man.
He's literally
Works
perfect.
too. All right, come on. And then he's gonna lead the way
Come
out
here,
into the
boy.
back
Come
alley.
Claw his face off. Okay.
I really don't think you want to go full wolf with him right now. He's not having a good night.
Oh, no.
Okay, is he ever having a good night though?
His wedding night was a good night.
Next.
Whoa.
Gross. Next.
What? Not what we were taught. Well, not what I was thinking. But
That's also
whatever.
not what I was thinking of, but you guys are gross.
You pervert.
You rang.
We're going into an alley, right?
Look, Aethel loves his husband, okay? Loves him a lot.
Ugh,
Blech.
gay.
Okay, there go. I'm back. Okay,
Back.
Jesus. Yeah, so you guys are in that back alleyway. Rollin, Lysander, Quintrell, and I guess it's Esme. Are any of you guys like doing anything or saying anything?
I'm looking around for that raccoon he was.
It's Little King Trash Mouth.
Actually, has a little Burger King.
You know,
So
Legacy Burger
apparently,
King.
Abraham Lincoln isn't your name. What is your real name?
Rollin.
Ah, so Abraham is a pseudonym.
We'll go with that, sure.
Excellent. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Rollin. Although I will say that your husband is a bit on the rough side.
I know. Trust me. He's not for
Oh.
everyone.
You don't even know how rough he can.
Oh
No,
my god! Block reported.
no, definitely not to my taste. But
He's acquired, really.
well, so what brings you all here to Loftwood? It
Um,
place that it is.
well, unfortunately, friend fallen into trouble. She's missing, and we're trying to get to the bottom.
Ooh, a mystery. Perhaps I will, I mean, I'm done here. My publicist says that my tour, this was the last show, of course, of the time, and I'm free for now. If you would find someone to travel with you and catalog your adventures as you go.
Ah,
He still has his thumb and forefingers together, but he like steeples the other three. So
gosh.
I
as
love
he as
this
he
dumb motherfucker.
brings the like beaks that he's making with his thumb and forefingers together. So it's like,
He's so unnecessary.
yes, he is.
Um,
Looking at it, you can see he has like a little like almost star-shaped impression in his like a star-shaped scar on his head. It's faint, but it's there, and he keeps it up. His ears are just slightly pointed.
You're a wizard, Harry.
No, I'm a bard. I thought that would be obvious.
Um.
Oh, that's right. We live in a world where wizards are commonplace.
Oh yeah. Right.
No,
This
you're a
doesn't
wizard.
work in
Swallow.
Faerun.
Not a lightning bolt, a star shape.
I just
No, he's not Jace.
kind of like look to the rest of the party and kind of be like, I mean,
Esme shrugs.
this is not a fun.
She signs back, we could use all the help, but I just don't want him causing any problems.
Oh, trust me. I just signed back.
He looks to her and signs. I won't be able to say it in his pompous attitude, but you get the idea. What do you mean I'll be trouble?
Well, you just mean to say that we don't know you.
Of course you do. You said you knew me. You said there's the Lysander Firewind, and
Personally, I mean.
Oh, on a more intimate level.
Never
Of
meet your
course.
heroes, Esme signs.
Uh-huh.
I haven't yet. I signed back to her.
So my thought is this quest is depressing enough. Perhaps it would be nice to have somebody to lighten the mood a little. Lest this become another fucking situation.
Yeah.
And seeing as how he's been apparently everywhere.
Everywhere.
You're like,
In-
he could serve as a guide. We don't have one of those yet. And then Aethland opens the door. Guys, I got us a guide.
Oh, well, never mind then. Bye.
So
We don't
you're
need to.
Roland. That is Esme. I believe you've said the name.
Mm-hmm.
Your husband is Aethelin.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the hirsute young man?
On Quintrell.
You're a rather quiet one, Quintrell.
He compensates for people like yourself.
Ah,
Savage as always.
the
So
young
brings balance to a party.
Yes, exactly. One such as you is always needed. Have you ever had work as a porter?
I have not.
I will pay you a shiny copper piece to carry my viol case and my bag.
No.
Look! You look as though you could use the coin. I will up it to 2 shiny copper pieces. And he's like rubbing them between his finger and thumb, like as he waves them in front of you.
Don't turn this one down, Sonny.
Quintrell just looks over at Rollin. Are you sure we need him?
I just thought it might be fun.
Your idea of fun is very interesting.
Piddlewick
I
was fun. I
mean, I
don't know
married
about this guy.
Aethelin. Yeah.
Who was
Piddlewick was murderous fun.
Not as far as anybody in the party was concerned.
That's true.
Piddlewick probably kind of saved our ass in a lot of ways.
And we left him.
You monsters.
It's true.
I thought about having Quintrell have a tattoo of him. Then I realized as much as Quintrell has to heal himself, he'd be gone. So
Well, what I love is the idea we should have brought him with you so that way we could continue with the adventures of Piddlewick and Quintrell.
I
Mm.
know.
Quintrell and Piddlewick.
Good.
Oh, God.
Piddlewick comes in covered in blood, holding a spleen. That's not yours, is it? He just shakes his head no. A little late to put it back, isn't it? He just nods his head yes. I guess we're gonna have to leave town again. He just nods his head yes again.
he was just a neglected little fella. Scarred by the land he lived in.
Of course.
Yeah.
Quintrell would have fixed him.
The end of it is just sad music, walking away. The Bruce, the Hulk
But it's like that
music,
bad
but it's being played with an accordion, so it doesn't quite have the the
Yes.
weight.
The kazoo version of My Heart Will Go On.
Yes.
It's
God
just
damn it.
played. No, it's just sad music.
Wait,
played on
fuck!
the
I've
ukulele.
been waiting my whole life for
It's
this.
just clink, clink, clink.
Thank you so much. I love you.
Please don't.
Literally perfect.
Please don't go on.
I cannot believe you had a kazoo ready.
You
for
can't believe
that
that Alice
specific
Did you just
thing.
hear them? They said they've
I-
been waiting their entire life for this moment. They've
I
been
can't say having
prepared.
one of those surprises me.
I don't
Nothing
think any of us are
surprises me
really
like that.
surprised.
I
I'm
know.
just saying.
I mean, I'm not. But like at the same time I kinda am. Like
Oh, yay. Woo.
Well, that was your first mistake, being slightly surprised that they didn't. They
yeah,
didn't happen.
apparently.
It is
Ooh.
extremely hard to play the kazoo and laugh.
It is very hard. You really gotta be a emotionless person to play the kazoo.
An emotionless Cal is not.
Yeah, that's my one flaw.
Emotions. Meh.
Your
Oh,
one
man.
flaw.
My one flaw, yeah, implying that's the
I'm
only one.
full of emotion.
What the
Oh,
hell are we
man.
doing? I'm so confused.
No,
Quintrell is
so
trying
back.
to ask. Quintrell is asking you, do we really need to bring Lysander Firewind along
okay,
with you?
Okay, honestly, just gonna look at him dead in the face. I know how this looks, and I know that I haven't made decisions before, particularly between. However,
And you married Aislinn.
yes.
So that was a bit of an oversight.
I mean, it turned out, but what I'm
But
trying to
did it?
say is,
Are
So
you
far, so
satisfied with your marriage?
on a scale of 1 to 10. What I'm trying to say is, on a mission so dire as, wouldn't it be helpful to have keep a
I
little upbeat?
I suppose, unless he dies first, then it's just gonna be counterproductive.
Esme sighs a little bit, and she sort of looks at him and she signs. I feel like perhaps we could use his unique talents somehow or another. And if he turns out not to be useful, then we will drop him at the side of the road. After all, he says he knows his way around these parts. Don't you?
Yes, of course. He signs back with confidence and says out loud, and not to mention, being dropped off at the side of the road is a common occurrence for me. It's not the first time that it's ever happened.
Of course.
Esme looks at Roland and says, well, now I just feel bad for him and kind of want to take him for that.
No.
He signs very haughtily, I don't need your pity.
It's not pity, it's care.
Sure, that's what it is.
I feel as though you're splitting hairs here. All right,
will
you've
you join us
convinced
or
me.
not?
I will travel with you, as it is apparent that you'll need a person of my gravitas.
Okay, so we're still deluding ourselves and calling things that they aren't.
He's still doing the finger thing.
Oh my god. This
Esme looks at
Yes.
him and says, do you realize that in Elven hand that means fuck you?
No, it doesn't.
it does.
She
And he says to you in Elvish, no, it doesn't.
Next time,
She-
Esme. Next time.
she signs touche.
You got me there. With your elven ways.
Oh, you got me, you little scamp.
You're half right. Anyways.
Okay, so at this point, I feel like probably Quentra and Aethlin, you guys would be joining the scene out here, so to speak.
I guess.
I guess.
I am
Wow.
proud to announce that you have all signed on to be part of my entourage.
Quintra turns around and walks back into the bar.
Aethan's following him right back into the bar. Nope.
What?
Come
Where are
back.
they?
Kidding.
Where are they
Come back.
going?
Kidding.
Wait, we have things to say.
You have the privilege and honor to travel with me. You can say that that is an adventure that you've yet to have.
Well, to be fair, we have more pressing matters than that.
Certainly, you're missing your little friend. The boy?
Was he? No.
No.
What
You're
boy?
not searching for the missing boy.
No. I mean, maybe tangentially related, but
I
No.
feel as though I've been duped. What sort of dubious affair do you have me roped into promising to be a part of my entourage, and now you're telling me?
I didn't
That's your-
promise anything. If anything,
Semantics.
I let you be a part of my
Semantics.
entourage.
You're splitting hairs again. Semantics. So, what is the story then?
The story is our good friend.
Esme pushes Rollin aside and begins to sign, and I'm gonna give Esme a British accent to make her actually discernible. But she says, my girlfriend is missing. We need to find her. I suck at British accents. And
Doing great, sweetie.
Everything comes out Australian or New
You were
Zealand.
doing
yeah, no
great.
kidding. My girlfriend is missing.
She's perfect. Okay.
My girlfriend is missing. We need to find her. And frankly, we could use all the help we can get. That's all you need to know for now.
I can see it now. Love lost a journey. Yes. I will pin all of this. Rollin, more parchment. Better quality than that last stuff you handed me. I'm not sure what that was.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Can you not afford your own?
You're in charge of parchment, of course, don't you know? Well, now you do. Parchment.
Oh man.
Wait. I'll take a piece of parchment. Slightly better than the one I gave before. Slap the wrinkles out and hand it over.
He he opens his what is it? The bag that he has, and he pulls a very fine plume and inkwell out, dabs it in, and says, "There we were. Slight rain falling on us as we stood in the alley of Loftwood. A forlorn lover lost to us all. But I knew that I would one day find them for the miserable Esme who was drowning herself in her tears of sorrow and loss. Do well for a good start." And he rolls it up and tucks it away.
Does he talk while
Oh
he
God,
writes?
yes, of course he does.
Oh, thank God. So we all
Esme
heard
looks
that.
at Rollin and just says, is he saying what I think he's saying?
Uh-huh. You're 100% correct.
Can you tell him to make sure to include that I'm super hot and that Belle is not as hot as me, but also pretty hot?
Absolutely.
When I get to
Aethlin
the
is just
descriptions
gonna
of the
lean over to
individuals,
Quintrell and be like, "This guy's gonna go missing in the woods, and nobody's gonna miss him."
No one at all.
Don't say that right away. You usually wait till they go to sleep.
All right.
I didn't say it was gonna be me. I just
You don't
said he
have
was
to.
gonna go missing in the
It's
woods.
implied.
Now, do we have any clues as to where Belle would have gone or been taken, or what would have come after her?
Not from me. I honestly
I
don't
have
know.
a lead.
No, what is your lead?
Well, we're gonna need to head over to Loose. Apparently, there's been some ghosts killing some people. Fits the similar MO of how our halfling disappeared, so
Just so you all know, it is like late at this point. So if you want to travel overnight, you can, but you can also stay in Loftwood. That being said, there's a lot of good resources for you in Loftwood. In fact, Esme actually mentions, she says, while we're here, there are some good artificers, and I would like to get Belle's pendant looked at to see if we can perhaps get any kind of information out of it.
Might not be a bad idea.
Very true.
That being said, anyone who can help you is probably not awake or open at the moment.
Do we want to stay here?
That's probably not a bad idea. At least for the night. Somebody should probably rest his vocal cords.
Oh, yes, of course. Wouldn't want to would we?
Excellent. So where are you putting me? I mean, where are we staying for the evening?
There's a number of different places you guys can stay. I won't give you anything specific, because again, I'm not even going to worry too much about money. This is not going to be a long campaign.
I'm just going to follow those.
We're just filthy rich. It doesn't matter.
Rollin is just sugar daddy in the whole party.
Well, he already did it in Storm King's Thunder. I mean, why not do it again?
It's just the thing.
It's just what they do.
I mean, it's not like Aethlin was, like, poor going into that marriage. Like, he had a lot saved up.
By their powers combined, they're disgustingly rich.
Yep. Yep. So anyway, they'd find an inn or somewhere that would be just for sleeping arrangements.
Yep.
Would then
the red count is on the sheets here.
Oh my god.
Esme picks up one of the sheets, looks at it, and then signs, "It looks like one thread, but I think that's just because it's really well woven. Regardless, I'm sleeping on it, and you should too."
Aethlin is going to look over at Rollin. I married you, and you were a pretentious noble, and yet you are nowhere near as bad as he is ever. Ever. And I haven't even known him for 24 hours. I love you so much.
It's like, well, being exiled, does that to people, I guess. AKA makes you act like a normie.
Except for the times where you just walked out of the fucking place with the book that you had your hands on.
Okay, that was one time.
No matter what he does from here on out, he can always look at you and goes, "At least I'm not Lysander Firewind."
They're having this terrible fight. At least I'm not Lysander.
Oh God!
Oh,
you're right.
God. That is their fucking arguments forever.
Yes. Okay. So I'm just gonna shrug. Yeah. I guess I did turn out pretty okay. And I will.
That's debatable.
How many rooms do we wind up in?
Fireball people regularly.
Oh yeah, how many rooms do we?
I ain't bunking with nobody.
I would assume everybody gets their own room, or at least I'm sure Aethlin and Rollin would want to stay together. But other than
disgusting. We haven't shared a room in ever.
Oh, that's sad. That's just a bad marriage. You guys should get that looked at.
That is absolutely not the case. Rollin believes he sleeps alone. Aethlin just waits till he falls asleep and then shows up.
That's also a sign of a weird.
I would like a room for myself, please. A luxury suite, queen-sized bed at least, and they're paying for it.
We got.
Oh no, we got nothing for your punk ass. See you later.
Non-existent.
Question, because I know when they kind of.
You froze at "we got" and then you stopped.
We got rooms with beds in them, and we got rooms with cushions in them for elves. Which one do you want?
I'll take a bed. Preferably minimal amount of rats, if you would.
All right, easy on the rats.
None, if that's at all possible at this fine establishment.
You and me both, buddy. All right. Hey, Jeremy! Go get this guy a room with less rats. Wink. Less rats. Wink.
Why
Can
do
I
you
just
keep
say
saying
I'm in
wink? I
love
don't
with this
understand.
woman
Oh, no
already.
reason.
Oh my
Wink.
I like her.
Oh, thank you. Unnamed NPC likes you too.
Her name's Dolly, okay?
Dolly, I love it.
Uh,
Fantastic. So Dolly gets you all into your rooms for the night.
You played by young Barbara Streisand.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, I love it. In the movie we're already making.
In the movie where Barbara Streisand has already played a character named Dolly.
Yes.
Oh man. Okay, yeah. So you guys are all in your rooms. Do most of you sleep for the night? What are
Yeah, I guess we'll sleep or whatever elves do.
Aethlin would have brought that parchment with him, and he's. I'm gonna wait till Atlas is
all
unfrozen.
you?
I go into my bag and I take out my facial cream, my sleep mask.
Of course.
Oh no,
of course
he's
you
me.
fucking do.
Oh god.
This explains a lot.
Does he exfoliate every week?
Of course.
Does he have a mustache?
No facial hair.
Okay. I was just thinking about Murder of the Orient
Which-
Express when you see Perot asleep with that big contraption to keep his mustache.
Yes. No mustache.
I love
No,
that
he
thing.
sleeps
oh
with
my
the
god.
hairnet in though, like
Yes.
like oh brother, where art thou?
Oh hell yeah.
Oh my hair.
The sleeping cap. Of
Yes.
course.
So sleeping for the night, even though I am sleeping.
Sleeping much like Cal's camera.
Welcome
I'm
back,
back.
Cal.
I'm back.
Welcome back. You're literally
you, though?
perfect.
Yes, I am. Truly. I'm with you all.
For now.
Okay. So yeah, you guys sleep for the night. Again, is anybody doing anything of note over the evening?
Aethlin is going to message Hemlane and tell him that he needs to check in with all the lieutenants, and
Okay.
then give him Umbra's report, and that he wants to know what the others are up to as soon as possible.
Okay. Sounds good.
Which it may not be relevant. This is just something he would do because crime lord.
Yeah. Crime lord. Yeah. You get the report and everything. It comes back. You got a couple of people who are working out on a couple of deals. Umbra is still out looking for information and kind of rallying the troops. Obviously, this is an order from on high, so you've kind of got everybody on edge because suddenly they're all like, "Oh shit, Aethlin's got us doing something important. Oh god." So everyone is in a bit of a tizzy because a lot of them did have to drop what they were working on to take care of this particular issue.
Yeah.
But other than that, it seems like things are kind of just going the way they usually go. There hasn't really been any word back about anything extremely interesting.
Okay. And then I will just relax back on the pillows and meditate for my requisite 4 hours. Fucking elves, man.
Do half elves also meditate?
I don't remember. I don't
so.
remember.
Maybe. Hey, either way.
You know what
I
I
mean,
can do? I
really,
can check
Rollin
D&D
is a-
Beyond.
Yeah, let's check
Rollin,
D&D Beyond.
Rollin is an elf, but I just like it's canon that he just really
He just loves sleeping.
he's just like napping. When he's not up for days on end doing shit nobody cares about. He's napping. He's having a good snooze.
Just taking a
No,
snooze.
actually, I don't.
Oh. You do
I
got
gotta sleep. I sleep, but I mean,
You have to have weak human sleeping cycles.
you know for a fact he tires his husband out before they both go to sleep. So
Oh my.
I don't want to hear it.
Uncomfortable.
Okay. On one side of Aethlin and Rollin is Lysander, and on the other is Esme, which is great because she's deaf. And poor Lysander.
They're in no mood. Okay.
They're behaving.
They're behaving right now. There's too much to do.
Well, they at
Through
least
the
can't
walls,
be heard. They
you
at least
hear,
can't be heard.
"Dear me, today I found a crew that might actually fit and suit my needs. Unlike the last troop where I was drummed out for being the center of attention. They were all so jealous of me. Seems a motley crew. I'm not even sure what sort of troupe they are. They don't seem much like actors. But I will travel with them and see if I can't help them with this whole dinner theater murder mystery thing that they're working on."
Does he think it's actually like a fucking? Oh
You don't know.
my.
Oh god.
"Till the morrow, I shine like a star."
Oh, you sure are something.
If I had even
Extra
an ounce
super
of his
special.
self-confidence, I would literally pull this,
Oh god.
whether it's warranted or not.
This is
Your
great.
words of advice are today: live your life like Lysander Firewind.
You know, that is a good word of advice. I think I'm gonna start taking it more seriously. Everybody, I'm the DM, so pay attention to everything that I say. So Belle was actually kidnapped by giant horses with
Giant
Fuck.
horses.
Yes, I love it.
So this is
That
a me
is
show
10.
now.
10 out of 10.
Oh god. Yeah, so you guys sleep through the night. You know, there may or may not be disturbances or goofiness or whatever there is. So y'all make it. Quentra, what's on your mind at the moment? Just kind of dealing with these guys. What are you thinking of them so far? At a little time.
Quentra has set up the alarm spell on the door to his room.
Okay.
And
yeah,
has
probably a
stated
good
that
call.
rats won't trip the alarm, and he just goes to bed.
He's
just
just like, fuck it.
He is so valid.
I need full sleep to deal with these people.
I love
have-
this
I
man.
don't blame you. Me too, bitch. Why do you think me, an elf, sleeps 8 hours a night?
I'm a parent.
I'm a parent. I'm so tired all the time.
Oh my god.
What's the
Aethan
parent?
and Rollin are away from the kids for the first time in probably about a year and a half.
Oh my
And that's all they
god.
want to do is sleep.
And now they're gonna get a full night's sleep because Jarnik is Rutris's problem.
Oh man, it would be great.
You like finally get home and Rogers is like,
I haven't slept in years.
Oh my good god. I love when Atlas's cam freezes in these beautiful expressions.
I'm so glad. But anyways, yeah, as soon as you get back, Rogers is just like, I'm gonna fucking kill you if you ever decide to have any more hell spawn. I am never babysitting for you again. This kid has the fucking personality of Rollin and the craftiness of Aethlin, and it makes me want to be dead.
Oh, rip. Don't worry, they won't. They're done now.
So yeah, you guys make it through the night. You wake up. The inn does serve breakfast, so you guys manage to get a good breakfast in. Esme suggests that you go and find an artificer that you can talk to about the pendant.
Sounds like a plan.
Does everyone want to go with her, or does anyone want to go off and do something else? Because you are in Loftwood, it is a large city. There's a lot of things that you could do, depending on what your interest is, or what you might want to find or get, or whatever.
I would like to purchase a crossbow.
Okay. All right. Like I said, I'm not really going to make money a whole thing, so I'm just going to say that, yes, you can buy a crossbow. That is within reasonable limits. So go ahead and add that. You actually end up at like a small weapons shop.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where you stay forever.
Yep.
That is the end of the story of
End of the
Lysander Firewind.
He touched one thing and the whole store fell to the ground, and now he has to work for them to pay it off.
Oh, rip. he knocks over a super expensive vase and gets drafted into their host club. Kids fall in debt.
Fall in debt. Wow. True though.
Oh god.
Stop
Okay.
it.
Did I might find like a cafe or something kind of centralized where we could
Set fireball off.
I don't have that spell anymore. We talked about this. I have kids.
I'm so sad that you took that off your spell list because that's like the Rollins
I
signature
know.
move.
It's the trademark. It is. It is. I might be change my mind. But I think I might try to find somewhere more central where I could kind of see. That's not what I want to say. That's not the word I want to use. Words are hard. But I could maybe hear some interesting information. I am going to go to like a or something. I am going to, if the DM allows it, summon a flock of familiars.
Okay. What are you summoning?
I am summoning 3 rats.
Babies.
And
we're the rats.
less rats.
I'm the big rat that makes all the rules.
And I'm going to kind of just send them out along the ground, like in the nooks and crannies of people I think are interesting.
Okay.
And have them listen to their conversations. Basically. I'm gonna do some hard mode eavesdropping.
Hey DM.
Ears, unless you did I cut out?
Yes.
Nope. But I have a question for you.
What's up?
Instead of purchasing that
Crossbow?
weapon,
Crossbow? Yes, crossbow.
I'd like to enthrall the shopkeeper using my enthralling performance.
So you just walk in and just the shopkeeper's like, "Hi, how can I help you?"
It
and
doesn't have to be song. It doesn't have to be song. It just has to be a performance.
Oh,
okay.
For 1 minute.
So you walk in and are like, "So, what's the deal with airline food?"
Keep in mind that for auditions of The Voice, the blind auditions are only 1.5 minutes, and those are seem pretty lengthy. This is only 1 minute. So I'm just in there going, this shop, this place is where I'll find my saving grace.
Wow.
Just improvising for the next 1 minute. Just making up a song on the spot.
This is so good. You can have the fucking crossbow. Shopkeeper,
take whatever you want.
The shopkeeper.
Oh no, Atlas, we lost you.
Anything like that? I'm just a lady trying to sell some stuff.
Sorry.
But today, your shop has been blessed by Lysander Firewind.
I have no idea who you are, but please take this crossbow, stranger.
You're too kind. I'll need those bolts as well.
Of course, I've never heard of you in my life, but here, take them.
I'm world famous. So what do you mean? You must be from a very small place.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's what it is. Yeah. I mean, I'm native to.
All right, enough talking. Bye now.
Oh, Lysander. I love this motherfucker.
I have to play him up because I won't be able to play him again.
This is true.
Because next week I have a contract where I will be working locally.
Oh.
That means no more Wednesdays for me.
Oh no, like just forever?
Unless things go awry.
Oh, well, I mean, good for you on the contract, but no.
Mhm.
Oh, now I'm sad.
Jesus, sorry.
All right. What are we doing?
So we're back to the game.
So I am eavesdropping, dropping eaves with rats. Do I hear
Fair enough.
anything interesting?
Here's what I'm gonna ask you. And I started saying this and then I got cut off. By technology. And
Yes.
so there are one of two ways you can do this. You can communicate telepathically with your familiars, so that's an option. However, if you want to see or hear through your familiar's eyes or ears, you do have
I have to what now? I should read the spell.
to.
Hold on.
You're a vegetable.
I'm a vegetable, literally.
Yeah. So that which way
hold
are
on.
we doing this?
Hold
Oh,
on,
okay.
hold on. I didn't
Are
get to. What?
What?
Yeah, it says familiars summoned by the spell can telepathically communicate with you and share their visual or well, they're with you.
Yes. The one thing I will say and that's the thing. Whenever I've played a wizard with familiars with different DMs, they've usually made it so you do have to like vegetate if you want to do the see or hear through their eyes or ears.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair. How will I do this?
Just for the record, Aethlin is probably with Rollin.
Okay.
Just so that if this is what you're going to do, then Aethlin is
you
there
don't have
to
like
protect
somebody.
you.
Yeah, just like deals his stuff, leaves. Okay. I mean, if we're gonna do that, yeah, let's do it.
All right. So you are you seeing and hearing through their ears and just having Aethlin babysit your vegetable body?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So you hear a lot of things, and I mean it's mostly like talk. You're just kind of like generally going around and seeing different like people and stuff. So you hear people's like what they're doing with their day. You hear some various random conversations. You get some good fucking gossip about whoever Joni living down the street is. She's like she slept with
Is
like
she in
3
love
different
with Chachi?
husbands.
Oh,
Well,
man.
I mean, maybe. I don't. I feel like that's a reference to something I don't understand, but maybe.
I forgot I'm old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
You are.
old.
You are.
But yeah, so she slept with like 3 different people's husbands. It's the talk of
Oh, Joni.
the block.
Jesus Christ.
Girl.
And I know. Aethlin, you're like babysitting Rollins' body, and you just like hear you just look over, and Rollins just nope.
Nope. Fucking Joni. He'll get this.
fucking
He'll get the
Joni.
tea later.
And that's the motherfucking tea. Okay.
Gosh.
All right, we're putting that demon behind us.
Yes.
But anyways, yeah. So you see some various like normal type things. You hear a lot about this missing boy. There's a lot of people who have been talking about him. Some people are kind of like, it was the parents. The parents definitely took him. They're trying to create a publicity stunt. They're trying to bring him into the public eye. It's all just a ploy to make more money. But you hear some people who are genuinely concerned who are like, no, the parents couldn't have done it. There's no way. Did you see? They have witnesses. They know that it wasn't them. And there's like it's everywhere. Everyone seems to be talking about this missing kid. You do hear a few people talking about how there is this ghost in Palouse who's been killing people, but definitely not as many. It is like it's like a one per every so often thing. So
Ghost
ghost.
seems legit.
Which
So nothing really. Okay.
Yeah, that's about what you hear. There's not much. There is some talk about some strange people who have kind of been coming and going recently that aren't really normal to the scene around here. But beyond that, there's not a whole lot. People don't seem to really notice if there's anything, or at least you're not hearing about anything that might be out of the ordinary. But like you do catch conversations with like some people who are maybe not so great, like criminals or whatever. And those people in particular are like, yeah, like there's been some weird characters, like not the kind we're used to lately. So.
Do they like elaborate at all or no?
No, it's generally you overhear slight conversations of someone being like, yeah, if you see any of those weirdos, you dispatch them, but I don't think you will, that kind of thing.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, that's what you get.
I recall the rats. Come to me!
Come to me, my rats! Recall the rats. Recall them. Quintra, are you gonna go with Esme, or what are you up to?
I am. Oh,
did you say Quintra or Quintel?
I said Quintra, but Quintrell, what are you up to?
Sorry.
I am poking around town. Are there any known mages in town?
There are several. They are kind of like independent contractor type folk, and for the most part, they have like studies that you can kind of go visit. Most of them are more like the private type, but I'm sure if you ask a little bit, there's a few people who are a little more public about it that you could find.
I go asking around for anybody that knows anything about the planes, interplanar travel.
Okay.
That sort of thing.
As you ask around about that, a lot of people seem very interested to talk to you. Almost as soon as you mention interplanar travel, people are all over it. They're like, ooh. You get a couple of people who ask you if you know if that's real. And they're very excited. Like, are you asking because is it real? Like, is interplanar travel? I believe it's real. I believe in it.
Let's see. Any of them that seem to be like they might be knowledgeable themselves, I will bring up Barovia.
Barovia, yeah. Most of them don't seem interested. You are in the library asking around a bit because there are quite a few mages who kind of work in the library or have like studies that are involved with the library. And a couple of them actually look at you kind of funny. And one of them says, why are you asking? We no idea what Barovia is. Why exactly are you asking about interplanar travel? Are you seeking what others who are seeking interplanar travel are seeking?
I'm just trying to go home.
Home. So this is not your home.
No. I'm definitely from a material plane, but it doesn't seem to be this material plane.
The mages kind of look at each other, and then they look at you. And one of them asks, what's your name?
Quintrell.
Quintrell. How long will you be staying here in Loftwood?
Not too long. I believe my party was planning to go to... Which one was it?
Palouse.
Palouse. We're looking for a mission companion.
Interesting. And they kind of look at each other. And the one says, well, Quintrell, unfortunately we don't quite have the information you're seeking, but perhaps you could find more in Palouse.
Oh?
Yes. If you would talk to the Mages Guild there, you might have more luck.
Mages Guild in Palouse. Well, I will thank them for their time.
All right. So you've got a little bit of information that will hopefully get you home. So that is kind of what you are doing. Quintra, are you going with Esme? Where are you going?
Esme has gloves on her from Belle, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's going to ask if he can borrow one of them for some time, and he's going to go around town and see, and see if there are any.
That's not creepy at all. Can I borrow her gloves? Hey.
Starts barking.
And see if there are any, if he can see if she was around town at all.
She is very hesitant to give you the gloves. When you first ask her about it, she takes them out of her pocket and she kind of gives you a funny look at first and she asks, "How did you know I had these gloves? How did you know I had these gloves?"
He'll explain that he worked with Belle actually quite a long time ago now. He helped her out or she helped him out, and he'll return the favor to help find her. A favor owed, if anything.
She looks very surprised that you know her, but then kind of softens at it, and she says, "I didn't realize you knew Belle. I thought you were just someone that Aethlin had hired, but if you're willing to help me and you know the kind of person Belle is, then I'll trust you with these gloves." And she gives them to you.
Perfect. He'll put them in a pocket for now. He'll see her to where she wants to go, and then he will leave to go around town for a little bit.
So, as you show her to the artificer that she is looking for. And as you get closer, you realize that the smell that you are getting off these gloves is not just coming from the gloves anymore, but it is very clearly also coming from inside the artificer's store.
Guess he's not leaving now.
Dun dun dun.
Oh,
Ho ho. Even though he said that he was gonna leave her here and go do something very quickly, he's now going to walk in with her and not really say a word.
Okay. She seems a little bit like surprised that you're following her in here, but she's not going to question it per se. You walk inside, and I've done a drawing of this, so you all already know. There is a woman, a tiefling woman. She has the biggest horns of any tiefling you've ever seen, and she is dressed in the most bullshit outfit. Looks like she just pulled it out of the fucking garbage.
I will not be outdone, thank you.
The fashion garbage. She
fashion
went to the fucking Met Gala garbage and just went, well, all right. She is leaned up on the table and she is looking at various different items that she picks up for a second and then puts back down on the table and then picks up another one and just kind of looks it around. When you walk into her store, she looks at you and kind of tilts her head and says, "Can I help you?" Esme signs at you and asks if you can translate for her because she doesn't know if this woman speaks Common Hand.
He will explain to sign slow because I feel like he's probably a little bit messy on it.
That's okay. So she does. She just says, "Please translate so that I can speak to the woman."
He'll nod, yeah.
She and we can just do this where she's telling you, but she basically tells the woman, "We want to know if this pendant has any significance or if there's anything that you can help us connect it to." And the woman said, I keep forgetting I'm playing NPCs, and then I'm like, oh, holy shit, wait, I am the NPCs. Okay, let's put my NPC hat on. So I'm real good at this DMing thing, can you tell?
You're doing great, sweetie.
Brilliant.
So she kind of, the woman at the counter sort of puts down what she's holding. She's wearing like platform heels and these big mirrored green glasses, so you can't see her eyes. But she sits up and she puts her legs down and she makes a grabby hand. Esme kind of reluctantly puts the pendant in her hand. She turns the thing over for a minute and just says, "Wow, this thing is, that's pretty old, isn't it?" I haven't seen something like this in quite a while. How much do you want for it? And Esme just gives like a horrified look and is like, I don't want anything for it. I want to know if we can track Belle through it. And the woman just kind of goes, okay, well, that's a shame. Well, anyways, it's going to cost quite a bit if you want to figure out what this is connected to. I don't work for free, you know. So Esme kind of just slaps down a bag of gold and is like, all right, let's go for it. So the woman starts doing her thing. Now, Quentra, you oh my god, words. I'm so sorry. It's like getting to that point in the night.
Good. Happens to the best of us.
Truly. But Quentra, you noticed that smell that you were getting, it's extremely strong now. And if you just follow your nose a little bit, would you go ahead and roll me a perception check with advantage because you're using smell?
Mm-hmm.
That's an 11. So you can tell it's coming from one of the shelves above her, but there's quite a bit of stuff on those shelves.
Just for the sake of it all, he doesn't really care if the two of them are here. He'll actually like shake his head for a moment, and instead of his human head, it'll be his wolf head. So just a small change of forms here. I have a thing for tracking. It's like increases. I can detect. Like it says opponents within 15 feet of smell, but I'm just hoping to kind of pinpoint where on the shelf the smell is.
Okay.
Closer, if anything. Or overpower, yeah. Overpowering sense can be detected at triple normal range. If it's
okay, awesome.
Here.
So as you do that, you shake your head. Esme sort of like double takes, like, oh my god, and the lady across the counter just and goes back to looking at the pendant. Esme does genuinely seem startled, but you, like you said, you don't care. You kind of continue, and you are able to figure out that the scent is coming from 3 books that are stacked on the shelf. And all 3 of them look to be, fairly nice books. They're bound in like good thick parchment, and they have like nice gold engraving on the sides. But the smell of Belle is just all over those things.
Okay. He'll go back. He'll switch back from the wolf head, and he'll point the 3 books out to Esme, see if she recognizes them, and if anything, he'll ask. It's the tiefling in front of him. If she has seen a halfling recently.
Esme, as soon as you point those books out, gasps and says, 2 of those are books we keep above my bed. And that 3rd one, that's Belle's journal. Why is that in here?
The shock value was just too strong. Oh.
It was too much.
It was too much.
Oh, damn it.
There we go.
Come back.
Yeah.
So
where
why
did I
was
cut
Belle's
off?
journal what?
Belle's journal.
One was, and that 3rd one, that's Belle's journal. I don't know why anyone would have that. And the tiefling woman says, the halfling didn't sell that to me. It was an older human man. I don't remember him very well, but they fetched a good price, and I figure they'll fetch even better since I undersold them terribly from him.
Wow.
Why, are they important for some reason?
The plot chickens.
Well, they seem to be stolen goods.
Well, they seem to be stolen goods. Oh. Well, that's where I'm going to end it for tonight, because it is 8:52. We still need to leave room for announcements. So, with that being said, we've all had a little bit of an adventure tonight. I hope we're all excited for next week. And Cap, take it away.
All right, thanks everyone for tuning in. We're going to raid my friend and fellow streamer Callie Xenon, so hang tight. A huge thanks to Atlas, our DM, for the next few weeks. As you kind of heard there, if you didn't, we will announce again that I have got a local contract that will have me tied up 2 nights a week, one of those nights being Wednesday night, the other one being Saturday. So unfortunately, at least for now, I won't be back on Wednesday nights. However, my more than capable team here will be taking care of things. If you are a DM or a player and you would like to get in on this, I'm looking at you, some of you people out there, Dragon Master 1160 and others. Make sure you join our Discord, and make sure that you send a word to my cohorts in crime here. That would be Jack, who is Rollin, or Maddie, who is Aethlin, and we will sit down and vet all of you guys so that if you want to play with us or run a game on Wednesdays, we can make those things sort of happen. In the meantime, I know that they will take good care of it. I will still be around to help facilitate the transition from one game to the other. And of course, I'm not leaving Dire Bear. I'm just tied up on something that is profitable. So, money.
Yay, money!
So with that in mind, we don't have a plan as of right now on what we're going to be running, but we're going to worry about that closer to the end of this little adventure. So unfortunately, one of the reasons why I hammed it up and took so much of the spotlight tonight, because I knew that Lysander would probably not be back next week, but that is okay. He is still a lot of fun to play, and he is actually, for Jason's benefit, this is actually a bard I had in second edition D&D, and the star-shaped scar was because he decided to try to entrance a troll by juggling gemstones, and the troll failed horribly, and the troll grabbed one of the gemstones and pounded it into his forehead, so it made a
I was thinking
scar.
maybe somebody had lobotomized him.
What'd you say, Jason?
I said I was thinking maybe somebody had lobotomized him at some point.
Honestly, that would make him more enjoyable.
Oh.
Walking around drooling on you? That's horrible. Anyways, thank you again, one and all, and hold tight. We're going to go ahead and start the raid now. Don't forget, we have Patreon. The next installment of the DM is going to be the DM update, which is helping you world build, create things, and stuff like that. There will be a post tomorrow. So if you are a subscriber in our Patreon, a patron at that particular level, you will see that. I will also be putting forth the first of the bi-monthly videos soon as I get it recorded, that is. So again, keep a look at those. We have certain Patreon level or patron levels for those. And don't forget, if you do subscribe at the highest one, you get my undivided attention for 1 hour of your time. We sit down and we talk about whatever it is you want to talk about: world building, building a story, building a campaign, building an adventure, whatever. So visit our Patreon and hang tight as we go. Here we are, /raid space Cali Xenon. So hang tight, guys. We want to thank you all for hanging out with us tonight. Huge thanks to Atlas, who is struggling and has AT&T on his shit list. And a huge thanks to Maddie as Aethlin, to V as Quintra, to Jason as Quintrell, to Jack as Rollin, and to Atlas, who was our DM this evening. We love you guys, and we will see you all on Monday. Have a good night, everyone.